Last time on Tale of Gielinor. So, in the morning, Shirku and Musoka shared the contents of their dream. Basically how Lou II was high on Zao tack juice, and how um wait, what did Shirku dream of again? Did he talk to
Talk to Emiko Yi.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yes, that was it. He talked to Emiko Yi essentially, and yeah, Vegeta was able to contact um
Joni.
able to contact Jody. Yep. And she's very concerned about the fact that he's essentially mind controlled right now, and it's going to be complicated to get people there because apparently Sakane is having a bit of issues in his mission because they lost contact with him. Hopefully he's okay, but yeah. For now, we start to do a little bit of like uh investigation. Oh wait, actually before that, Bijutsu and Shiriku have a moment where Bijutsu just kind of tells Shiriku how uh the whole encounter with Sangyo really gave her like some issues just because like how like these assholes could just convince someone that they're like that impure and like how they're just like wrong in that way, just messing with his psyche. And Shiriku talks about how when he went to that exhibition in Renbo, he uh kind of like obviously he hasn't lived through it, but he kind of sees where all the sees how awful the discrimination could be. So yeah, Shiriku tells her, "Hey, listen, fuck them. You're amazing at what you do." And they have a little cute little heart to heart there. But yeah, after that, we essentially went off into the acid rain, which really sucked. Uh, we were able to find this kind of library area that was actually more closer to the ground, so we had to creatively get our way down there. Some of us teleported, some of us climbed down a rope, and yeah, when we entered the area, we just kind of Musoka learned about Osu's observers. So essentially, they're women who have uh, these interesting masks that are made out of what was it called? Horns of it used horns of Tianlu,
Yeah,
which is like
Tianlu.
these interesting fortune beasts, these gold-seeking creatures that used to live on the island, and yeah, the most interesting part was Peyton, who learned about a little bit of Hanto's history. Some of the architecture was kind of with these like chimeric accents. For the most part, were made by this reptilian race who is, and the people's leader was a particular reptilian, quote unquote, named Sasuke, the Shadow Dancer, a little familiar, a necromancer apparently, who kind of centered the entire uh, society around this rift. And apparently, the rift was the society's demise. So maybe we're having a bit of heating history at this current point in time. But either way, while we were down there, Shiruku remained on the catwalk and kind of got approached, almost got jumped, but he was very smart and he was able to essentially trick them into thinking that big burly friends of his were walking down the street like, "Hey, what's going on here? Hey, leave my boy alone, Shiriku alone!" And the guys were able to, the guys fled. They got out of there. So, yeah, essentially, what else happened? Oh yeah, so we went to the walled city. We bought some umbrellas for unreasonably high prices. And when we got there, we essentially found it was like a repurposed vault, and this woman was named Ochomi, and this is the address that Shiriku got, where we assume that some business happenings of the uh, Ford, Fortune. Fuck, what's their name?
Fortune's Horde.
Fortune's Horde! I was getting in there. uh, yeah.
It's a pun.
I get it. But yeah, they uh essentially went in there. Um, help me out with this bit. She gave us a little bit of information. Talked about how the Fortune's Horde were gun runners for a long time, and then
Mainly telling you about their rivalry with another group that had been headquartered in the walled city.
okay,
And then they started
yeah,
disappearing.
they started disappearing. Interesting.
And then the
Because
Fortune's
they were
Horde got
taking
richer.
their idols into a dungeon that they recently cleared out, and now they've got all of these shiny diamond rings, which seem to make it indicate that they've got a lot of bucks coming from the outside. But since that diamonds would be pretty useless on Honto itself, it suggests that maybe they're looking to do business outside of the island. But then she goes out to get some tea, locks the doors, activates a gas trap, we get jumped by harvesters, and then we get some ass kicking in, which featured hand dismemberment, lots of wizard nonsense, and some bits of brains, both attempted and actually removed, one guy getting bound up, and of course it ended with a robot riding a T-Rex. And so now we were ready to figure out just what this poor miserable harvester we've got bound up in ropes knows.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. This is where you find yourselves. Here, stuck in this room, this sort of repurposed, though at least parts of the walls are wood, but what may have once been a sort of bank vault, fully sealed from the outside, used to poison you, though by this point the poison has managed to dissipate, has grown so thin in the room that it's not affecting any of you anymore. Around you, slumped, sickening angles are the bodies of the harvesters you've already dispatched, and the one bound in Bijutsu's chi-activated rope, and little bits, licks of flame still sort of smoldering around the outer layers of his cloak. Not able to see, but somehow able to feel the seething behind this grotesque lizard-like mask of lashed together driftwood. He is, at this moment, at your mercy.
Bijutsu just kind of gives a bit of a bow and backs off and sort of looks over at Fukuro Shiruku and everyone else to kind of well, you do the honors.
Although I do have one question. Last time, didn't we hear footsteps as if someone was running away?
You did.
Right. It was well, I'm assuming can I roll inside or something just to think oh, is that the old lady we saw before? Emoji? Was that her name?
Sure, you can roll for it, but I think it would make sense if that's where your mind goes.
Okay. You know what? Screw even rolling for it. I'm just gonna where did it come from? Upstairs?
You can use your real life insight instead of your character insight.
Yeah,
Okay.
It seemed to come from just beyond the door that she had closed, gone behind to get the tea. And they seem to, just judging from the sort of the length of time between the footsteps, they sounded like pretty wide bounds. It doesn't sound like someone scurrying into a closet.
Right. Can I run up to that door fast and just try to open it?
Yeah, you run up to the door and you see it has this sort of radial, almost safe-like lock on it, which just to your first initial attempts doesn't seem to budge. You think maybe if someone has a set of thieves' tools and they are and they're astute, they may be able to open it up, or maybe you may have to find another way past this door.
I think I have another way. Woo! Knock.
Oh, dang. Let me read this. Target that
hope
is
it
held
works on
shut by a
safes.
mundane lock comes unlocked. All
It is a
right.
mundane though. Oh hell yeah.
It is mundane. So you concentrate in, and there's this loud boom, as the mechanism just opens from this sudden concussive shock to the door. You can almost see it vibrating as it creaks open. You look through and you can see there is indeed a little bit more of a living space. This ratty bed in a corner, what looks like a sort of coal stove set up with a pipe leading who knows where, somewhere into the bowels of this place. And then there is this open door still swinging that seems to just lead into, you're guessing, the darkness of the walled city.
It's swung open and I don't see, like, if I run up to it, just look out there, I don't see her.
Make a perception check.
Perception check.
Yeah, you bound across the door, open it, and all you can see are sort of this another dim, narrow hallway, similar to the what felt like hundreds of featureless hallways that you had to navigate through this maze just to get into the inner courtyard of the walled city. From here, it feels almost impossible to tell.
Shit. She just closes the door and locks it, and she's just gonna walk back to the others.
Who are gathered around this figure who is sort of convulsing slightly within his bonds.
Ochomi ran away. She
Oh,
escaped.
of course, the bitch ran away. Because this will never be that easy.
It's alright. We have someone to question anyway.
Oh, we sure do. We sure do, Senpai. We sure do.
Now we know how to do it properly.
Yes, don't remove his face this time.
Right. And is he awake? You said he was stirring, right?
Oh yeah. He was never unconscious.
Oh, I see.
He's just kind of on fire.
Oh, he's on fire. She is on fire.
No, do not put out the fire.
Fire is
No, I'm
very essential to this kinetic information retrieval.
Maybe,
Oh.
just in
Okay.
case. First, Fukuro kind of turns to Shuruku. Are you feeling up to mind reading?
I am not sure. I don't quite know what I'm feeling. It is odd.
Yeah, as you say this, you can feel, for a while it felt like your extremities, the tips of your fingers, your toes were numb, but now you have the feeling coming back into them. You still feel like you have been horrifically maimed, but at this moment you don't feel anything odd, anything off, anything more than you would from another really bad bash 'em up fight.
Oh, despite having a hole in my head, I think I'm doing better.
We should cover that, by the way. Here, she's gonna you know what? She's gonna take out her sleeping cap and just like wrap it around his head like a little headband.
Yeah, it's more like a something on the sort of on his upper neck, really more than it is on his head. But I will say that Shiroku does canonically always carry around sort of a scarf, so
That is true.
he
already
have the
has a
means
scarf.
to cover it himself if he wanted to.
Okay, never mind then. Just make
Now
sure
let's
that
mess
presses
that
the-
up a little bit.
Well, I think I can attempt to mind read. If Musaka doesn't want to.
Honestly, why don't you let me do it? I feel like you're a little, well, hurt. I don't know if you should use your brain for too much. God, wish we had a better medic here. Okay. I'm gonna detect thoughts.
Look, we're doing what we can here, Dreamer.
So Musaka, you're just trying to tap into the surface thoughts of this individual.
Sure.
Make an intelligence saving throw.
Okay.
Saving throw.
Hmm.
Come on, it's a shit roll.
Musoka, suddenly, you are somewhere else. You feel this crushing weight on you, this overwhelming pressure. And you realize that you're no longer breathing through your lungs, but through your gills. You are underwater, but it feels like you are further, deeper in some kind of submarine trench than you have even ever experienced in your life before. There's nothing but darkness around you. As your eyes adjust, you see this swirling mass. These, you're not sure what they are. It almost looks like this worms, some kind of underwater, deep sea nematode like things, all squirming together. The parts of it look stony, petrified. And then two of them part. And you see an eye open up. This disturbingly human like eye, though somewhat oversized. And then more of them part, and you see what looks like a human hand rise from the darkness. And this eye is just sort of swimming around, seemingly blinded as well, until it focuses right in on you. And you are back in the room. I need you to make a charisma check for me.
Check.
Yeah, not a save, just a check.
Okay. Bruh. Again?
You are looking into, though you can't see the eyes past this mask, there is somehow an intensity there that is difficult to parse. It feels almost as if you were in a battle of wills against this figure that you were interrogating. All right, roll again.
Fuck.
You all watch as Musoka's face just sort of goes slack. And Musoka, you get this odd sensation that you're naked somehow, that you need to cover up your face somehow.
I put my hands over my face.
What the fuck did you do?
She takes her hat and she like covers her face.
Right. Well, apparently, magical interrogation isn't going to work here. That's fine. I have tricks of my own.
Wait, am I like still messed up, or am I like back to myself? Like, am I like, or do I just?
I mean, you're conscious, you can speak, but you feel there's something wrong. There's something unsettling, and you're not sure if this feeling is going to dissipate or if it's only going to grow.
Okay. In that case, she probably okay. She just don't. Yeah. Don't try to detect his thoughts.
Are you alright, Musoka?
You've seen it.
What was that?
The truth.
What the hell does that mean?
I imagine that you haven't let these flames like grow, that he's engulfed in flames. I imagine it's sort of simmering a little bit on the outer layers of his cloak so you can fan it, but he's not actively burning up. Is that a correct assessment?
That's what I assumed. Like, sparks right now, and they can be like expanded upon.
Yeah,
Like, not even
I think it's just better
sparkle.
if he's not currently burning to death, probably.
Right, yeah.
That's very nice.
Extinguish these flames.
And why would we do that?
Please extinguish these flames.
Where are the flames right now? On his arm?
I imagine they're kind of like his outer cloak is smoldering.
Right. How about you tell us first what you did to that woman's mind? Why can't she dream?
She was allowed to drop her burdens, to allow them to be put towards greater purpose. You have seen that, haven't you? Musoka, make a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-oh.
There's something about his words. For a second, it seems to make perfect sense to you, but then you shake that off.
Right. Well, I suppose we could put the flames out. Fukuro, this is such a dick. Fukuro snaps his fingers, uses control flames, but instead of putting the fire out, he's gonna make it expand.
And you all see as suddenly these little bits of smoldering flames start to fully engulf his cloak as he takes another 4 points of fire damage.
Oops, that was
And you this kind of rattling.
sorry, I'm still getting used to the damn thing. Then he'll put the fire out.
It extinguishes. Thank you.
All right then, you fucker, get talking. And Bidutsu kind of like taps the charge blade in her hand repeatedly, like a school teacher tapping a ruler that they're threatening to spank a student with.
Talk to you, to infidels. I've no interest in that. I don't think it'll make a difference in your plan of action anyways.
Oh, you're right, but you can tell us information.
Hang on here. What do you believe our plan of action is exactly?
Regardless of what will happen, you will kill me in rage, or perhaps in caution. It makes no difference. This form, we always knew it was fragile, it was temporary. I'm part of something more magnificent and more wondrous.
Well, actually, if you answered all our questions, I was planning to let you go. But if you're so intent on dying...
I put little stock in the words of those like you. You could have been useful.
Yeah, well, we don't want your weird cult shit, so unless you can give us a good argument for it, yeah.
Never mind all of that now. What did you do to him?
Oh, the one with the hole in his neck.
No, the other person that you put on the ground and drilled a hole in. Who the fuck do you think I'm talking about?
We removed his burden. remove the burden of dreams. They are of little use to him. Nothing but distraction. Nothing but agony, but suffering. When they could be something so much more.
I was using those. I was using those quite a bit.
Try saying that again, but this time make sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of context you're leaving out here, fucker.
Talk to the siren hiding behind her hands. She knows.
I take my hands off my face.
What is he talking about?
When I tried reading his mind, I don't even know what it means. All I saw was this dark underwater area and these large worm-like things, and they had these human eyes, and
Musoka, I'm going to ask you a question.
go for it.
Do you know what he means? And you can decide if the answer is yes or no. Do you want to be able to understand what he means?
Uh, do I do it for the lore, boys?
Of course.
Oh shit.
How much foresight to unfuck your mind afterwards?
Nah.
Just roll with it.
You know what? She's just gonna. Fuck it. She's gonna say. She's gonna think. Yeah, she wants to understand.
And you do. You understand that you have seen what once called himself Khan relegated to an existence of twilight, of somewhere just beyond dreams. And you know that what they are taking, these bits of the brain, these bits that maybe have an essence of a person's dreams within them, that if this thing in the deep, this thing that grasped power beyond, that had it pulled away, this thing that for an instant saw the great works of creation, and who understood that it was ephemeral, that it was limited, and that it would need to be safeguarded, to be brought back in force, even if it cost some of the life and consciousness on this side of the divide between worlds. That with enough of these dreams, it can live fully in this world again and continue its great work. And you know, Musoka, that its work is beautiful.
Uh-oh. Musoka, she looks like she almost has, an epiphany. And she just says, I do know. The Khan. The Khan is now this Twilight. He's what I saw, and the old Khan, and he's using dreams to, correct me if I'm wrong, to gain this power, and with enough dreams it could come back to us, and oh, That's amazing.
I don't like the sound of this bullshit.
What's my mind like right now? Like, what am I thinking?
You were thinking that there is a danger to the divide between worlds. And you know that if this Watcher in the Deep is not allowed to continue its work, everything could be in danger. You know that you need to, if you can, support it, or at least not stand in the way of those who do.
This Watcher in the Deep, it needs to continue. Or we're all in danger, all of us. She's covering her face again.
I do not like the sound of this.
Me neither, man.
Personally, I don't believe a word of it, but if you say so.
So you're taking people's brains as a bit of charity work, to say. Well, that's still not the right word, but benevolent work.
This is correct.
So I can't help but notice that my brain is a bit squished, and I am upset about that. And I am upset at you about doing that. Why did you do that?
As I knew our ambush had failed, you would not allow me to leave with it. And I realized it was far more merciful that if I could not give it to the Watcher in the depths, to at least be assured that I've relieved you of the burden of your dreams.
Yeah, stop making choices for other people like you have some kind of god complex and know everything, you son of a bitch.
I am no god. I am as nothing before God.
Yeah, well, who is God then, fucker? Tell me that. Maybe I don't believe your bullshit.
There is, though many of us would deny it, but there is a God. There is a shaper of spheres.
Do I know why it's called the Shaper of Spheres?
Do you?
Fuck! You know what? No. Or, do I go deep on this? I don't want to ruin Misoka. Oh shit.
It's okay to say that.
I can't. I feel like for the RP. For the RP?
So, just out of curiosity, how big is the doorway into the T-Rex room?
Oh, shoot.
Are you
Yeah,
T-Rex?
Peyton is still in the next room as a T-Rex.
Yeah, I like to imagine he's just sort of the whole T-Rex doesn't fit through the doorway, but he's like squeezed his head through, so there's just like a T-Rex head through the door, looking at everyone.
Yes, perfect. There's just this big yellow reptilian eye on the side of this T-Rex head that's sticking through the door.
Oh, mind if I detach my head briefly to also pick near the door as well?
Of course.
You see that Misoka's like kind of heavily breathing. like almost in shock.
Yeah. Uh, the T-Rex considers putting a hand on her shoulder, but T-Rex arms.
Also, there's a room between the two of them.
Yeah, that too.
Just a bit.
You know what? For the RP, I think she kind of like backs up while she's in shock very slowly, closest to the door.
Which door? There's 4 of them in here.
The T-Rex door.
Close to your T-Rex buddy. T-Rex
Yes.
buddy will keep you safe.
T-Rex buddy.
Yeah, and robot body on the T-Rex body can hopefully restore you.
Yeah, I'm just sort of imagining that when Rom said detach his head, that is like, it's on like a, how do I
What, like
describe
a
it?
selfie stick?
It's like, what's he called? Professor? Is it Professor Gadget? No, Detective Gadget.
Oh, yeah.
Inspector
Gadget.
Gadget.
Inspector Gadget. You know when his head like extends out.
Yeah.
Lovely.
You know what? No, I don't.
I guess Shirku
Yes.
turns back to this man and says, so on to other matters. Your group, your buddies, I suppose. Do you have contact with anyone off of Hanto, off the island?
We have contact with everyone. We have contact with no one. We need none other than each other, for we are nothing, and we are temporary.
Suguro, like, uses his device to somehow start playing Linkin Park. I don't know. Jesus Christ, dude.
I think I'll take that as a no. So you're too stuck up with yourselves to accept the help of anyone other than your own little group.
Do you wish to join to understand more?
I'll keep it in the back of my mind. I am not I'm not looking to adopt a new religion at this moment.
You have a
Great.
religion?
As you are not from here. You're imperfect. You don't yet understand how this island was the price of seeing God. And it was, in my opinion, a bargain.
You're speaking about the Rift event, are you? The island was, what, in a way, sacrificed?
Doesn't respond to this.
So your Khan here strode up to the rift and he killed the island and saw God. He's a lucky man, is he not then? To have such an experience.
But he was foiled. Foiled by apostates. By betrayal. But we can restore that which he left unfinished.
So the apostates, that wouldn't be the observers? Maybe his wife? I understand that you're not on good terms with, well, anyone, really.
I think you understand enough. Don't you wish to see God?
Yeah, well, if seeing God requires killing a whole bunch of people, then you've got a pretty shitty God, I'd say.
That sounds like a no.
Well, Let me ask you this. How do we fix what you did to him?
Fix? You do not fix it. You rejoice in it. You take solace in the relief of your burdens.
That is not an answer to my question, so I ask again. How do we fix it?
And I answer again. You do not.
Use the fire.
I already put the fire out.
Make more fire.
I got this son of a bitch. He's angering me.
Oh, we still need him to figure out how to undo whatever he did.
Well, we could start by getting my brain off the floor.
Wait, no one picked that up yet?
It wasn't mentioned.
Well, fair enough. Sure, go pick up your brain.
Whatever was extracted from it, you caught a glimpse of it, and it was very small. It was, smaller than a strawberry, maybe the size of a large grape. And looking on the floor, all you can see is a little bit of viscera. Clearly not anything that's intact.
I suspect this might not be salvageable. I mean, there is healing magic, but this is a bit... It looks a bit ruined. I really do not know how to feel about this. This is not good. Well, apparently I'm free of my burdens. So, what, you think that because I have no dreams, I will be a happier person? Is that your philosophy?
You will be more complete.
It appears to me that you uncompleted me by removing part of me. In what way am I more complete?
You are no longer burdened by that which only distracts you, by that which only weighs your boots to this rotten earth.
Hearing this... Oh, no, go on.
Well, why did... I would have thought that dreams, of all things, are the things that allow us to escape from this so-called rotten earth. They are the least... they are the most ephemeral part of our psyche.
If that is your belief, then you are a moron. And I welcome your gratitude for relieving you of such a distraction that you may aspire to greater intellectual fortitude.
Right. I will aspire to be smarter, I suppose. That is why I'm asking you all these questions. Because you are the smart one here, apparently. But, Musika, you were going to say something?
After just hearing all of that, Imusuka kind of try to, like, shake off whatever the hell she just is, like, kind of messing with her head right now. Like, is there anything messing with her head? Like, can she talk, like, freely, like, normally? Or is she, like,
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of...
she can talk freely.
Okay.
She just knows that his goal is noble.
Right. So it's not exactly like him controlling her, it's more just like she sees his perspective.
Yeah, we can say it that way.
Sure. Alright. Shit. I think, yeah, after hearing that little spiel about dreams, she kinda, like, shakes her head, walks over, and just says, You... Okay, I have a question for you. What exactly is this Watcher in the Deep safeguarding?
Safeguarding everything.
Everything? As in the world, as in Hanto, as in beyond Hanto? What do you mean?
You heard what I said.
Why dreams? Why do dreams and things like brain essence feed it?
The dreams of many dreaming together, forming a path, forming a new sphere of existence. Our work is not simple, and it is not swift. We may toil for 10,000 years, but that toil will not cease.
What is he safeguarding against? What is
The end.
Does something cause the end?
Entropy.
So would you say the Watcher has a sort of control over whatever's causing the end? I don't even know if... She like holds her head in her hands a little bit.
Rawr.
Are you going to stay a dinosaur forever? Is dinosaur the right word?
Look, I thought we were here to go bust up some weird bullshit conspiracy, not talk about life, the universe, and everything. Are we done with this guy?
Oh wait, I think one more question. How did you know we were here? Have you been following us?
You caught a distinguished figure. Your fancy bike, bribing your way across the city with bananas. Do you know how long it's been since anyone here has seen a banana? There are children who never even knew bananas existed. Your path to ruin was paved in bananas.
Come again?
Oh, that's good. Okay,
Can we be canonically laughing, please? Like, actually, like, after hearing him say that.
If that's what you're doing.
I think
I
Masoka
mean,
is.
you two just busts out laughing.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, that was really funny.
I guess our use of bananas has made a bit of a rumor around the city, huh? Well, we're just gonna have to be a little more careful then. Oh,
Yeah, we are out of bananas in any case.
yes.
Yes, I hate to peel back the curtain, but there will be no more bananas being given out.
Such a useful tool, though. Alright, well... I am very curious about this Watcher in the Deep now. But we'll have to keep our eye out on it. Alright. I think we're done with him.
Are we though?
What
There
else have
is
we got?
one other thing I want to ask. But let me make something. Let me clear something up. The harvesters work for the old Khan, or kind of. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Fukuro kind of, I guess, crouches down next to, or maybe he's not tied up on the floor. I don't know how he's tied up. Maybe he's against a wall, standing up. I don't know.
Whatever suits what you're about to do.
And Fukuro comes over to him and asks, "By the way, you wouldn't happen to know a way that we could, hypothetically get into the Phantom Court, do you?"
To do what?
That wasn't part of my question.
Well, we want to take something from the apostates, as you call them. I think that is something we could share and agree on, isn't it?
Roll persuasion, Shiroku.
Oh, okay.
Persuasion by sticking it to the man.
There is a way. An old way. Place was not built by Chimera. Much of it was built by sirens. There are channels, flooded channels underwater. Some of them leading to the very edge of the island. There is a place on the northwesternmost coast. A great wall that has been ruined, broken. Just below that, maybe 50 feet underwater on this cliff, a flooded cavern. You swim through that, will come up in what Daen once used as his wine cellar. I give you this because I trust that your thievery will hurt the Grey Dama.
The situation is complex, but, well, it's probably safe to say that the Grey Dama and we will eventually not see eye to eye.
But when you go, keep your eyes open. Maybe you will learn more truths than your minds can comprehend now.
Alright, are we done now?
I
Yeah,
suppose.
there is the issue of wondering about outsiders. Your group does not interact with outsiders, but we suspect the Fortune's Horde does. I don't suppose you know anything about the Fortune's Horde and their contacts off the islands. Perhaps the external enemies of the Grey Dama, perhaps.
Smugglers are faithless scum. Do not ask me about those.
Well, that seems like a blind spot on your part. You should always keep abreast of things that are happening. You don't know how they are going to affect you. But that is your decision. If he doesn't know anything about Shangok and etc. I guess Suruku is watching him to see if he reacts to the name at all.
No reaction at all.
Fair enough. If he does,
I mean, you can roll insight if you want, but Nothing visible.
Yeah, I guess. Why not roll?
Yeah, you just feel much more confident that that name means nothing to him. Well, you also get the sense that there is zero concern for anything outside of his own goals.
Well, he does not know anything about our foe. Does nobody have any comments on this? Or anything else to say?
You tell that the jutsu is just kind of tapping her foot and sort of tapping her sword, like she's very impatient with this guy.
I suppose if no one else has any questions to ask, we're done here. Bijutsu,
Yeah.
let them go.
Alright, if you say so, Senpai, I'll let him go. And she just kind of slowly sheathes her sword.
You, Harvester, that's what you call yourself, yes?
That is a name that has been given to us.
Tell your friends to, leave us alone and we won't interfere with you anymore either.
You're not killing me.
No, I told you if you answered our questions, I would not kill you. You answered our questions.
Well, you are full of surprises. Very well. We have no desire to lose more bodies needlessly.
As you let him go, he actually goes over to the front door, which was locked, but it seems to have sort of a combination of sort of turns back and forth, almost like a revolving lock to undo it, which he somehow knows. Is able to do that and boom, chunk this heavy vault door open.
And I will take my leave of you.
Without opening it fully, he sort of slips out the crack in the door.
What the fuck was that?
You're telling me. I'm sorry about that. I tried detecting his thoughts and then something just came over me. Ah.
Everyone on this island is crazy!
Well, if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, I'm not interested in signing up for a cult today.
Yes, well, while we don't have to go signing up for any cults, at least we did gain some useful information.
Yeah, it was mixed in with a lot of bullshit, though.
Especially about that wall to the northeast, was it?
Yes. And, I mean, I don't know about Peyton, but I have plenty of spells that'll let people breathe underwater.
I mean, I'm good. I got that built in naturally, and she just kind of slaps the gills on her neck a bit.
Same here.
And I'm good at swimming, so that's no problem for me.
We should easily be able to make it there.
Yes, that would be definitely a much more proactive approach to securing the shard and such. I think we should probably continue with our investigation into the Fortune's Hoard, at least briefly. We know their prison is here, for example, or something similar.
I mean, at least this detour wasn't completely useless.
Yes.
But if we do not know how Changok is going to get here, then taking more direct action might be necessary.
Alright then. Where do you say we go next for, well, trying to find any leads on the Fortune's Hoard?
What time is it about-ish?
It's afternoon by now.
How late in the afternoon?
We'll say mid-afternoon.
Honestly, most of the day is already gone. For today, anyway. Tomorrow is the hanging, which I believe for some reason we should attend. As spectators, of course.
I mean, at the very least, I'm sure it'll be quite a sight, and we can blow off some steam.
Going to a hanging is your idea of blowing off some steam?
Well, around this crazy place, fuck yeah. What, you think I saw nothing in the Southgate slumps?
If you require assistance to blow off steam, I happen to be an expert on the subject.
Not literally, Tin Can!
Joshua programmed his sense of humor, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Honestly, it might be best to just go back to the... I don't want to call it the hotel, and get some rest.
Well,
I mean, it's a crazy freaking day.
I think we should not waste our time and attempt to investigate this prison that the Fortune's Horde had.
Did she say anything about the location of this prison? I forget.
I mean, this place was their dungeon up until about a week ago, is what she said last week.
Right.
It is nearby, apparently.
We can try our best to keep our ear out, I suppose. Would you be okay with detecting some thoughts?
Maybe. I still have not gotten over the whole removing my dreams situation.
That's... There's no way. There's no way. Let me see that.
She wants to just look at the brain piece.
The smudge on it.
So it's essentially a little bit of blood and a few kind of tattered fleshy bits. There's nothing that you can really turn over and examine. It's pretty ruined.
God.
Well, using my little knowledge of brains and stuff, can I determine whether or not this is like an important dream function part of the brain? Like I know there's like the frontal lobe and there's like two things in the back that messes with dreams.
I'll let you make a medicine check, but it's going to be a pretty high DC to, look at this little splotch of blood and gore and figure out what body part it was.
Well, it's more like I would look at the hole in his head and kind of like try to determine like which part of the brain it was at.
Yeah, you look and it's difficult to tell. You can at least tell that it didn't seem to be a piece of gray matter. Didn't seem to come from the frontal cortex or anything like that.
This is very disturbing. I mean, losing any part of your brain can't be good.
Well, I'm feeling surprisingly well, considering. I do not know what not dreaming would be like. I cannot say I'm not concerned.
There's no way you can't. I'll even try to induce a dream if you don't remember a dream tonight, okay? There's
Okay.
no way this is a permanent thing. And he did it on the fly. Maybe it didn't even work?
Well, as a medical expert, I have trust in you. I hope.
Well, thank you. But either way, I agree with you. I think we should walk around, maybe use detect thoughts to see if we catch any lucky information on the dungeon, and that or keep our ear out. So like maybe for the rest of the, well, I mean, as long as everyone else agrees, for the rest of the day, we just like walk around the walled city and just try to detect thoughts here and there, the same way he did yesterday.
And hope someone's thinking about the prison in this area.
Yeah.
Hey, are we just gonna leave this house, in tatters?
Why not?
I mean,
We weren't here.
do you really have a reason to clean it up other than wasting our effing time?
I'm
Well,
gonna close the door.
I guess
well, I mean,
we could spend like 5 minutes searching the house because we haven't done that.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's worth
I
it.
guess so.
Since
Oh,
I'm still
yeah.
a T-Rex, I guess Peyton unsqueezes from the door frame, and sort of shakes himself like a dog, and there's a lot of dust coming down from the ceiling, and then he turns back into a human.
Man, Gramps, where'd you learn how to do that?
Well, I would have to say I'm self-educated in that regard. Was a rather fascinating tome by what was his name? I think it was Alexander Ver... It was someone by the name of Alexander wrote a tome called Temporary Fluctuations in Bioarcanic Fields. It's actually rather fascinating if you modify the frequency of the. Never mind.
No, I'm finally hearing some science shit up in here. I've needed after all of that culty nonsense.
You know what? Let's have that be our bedtime story. We can investigate for now. But you do need to teach me how to do that spell. Points at Peyton.
and for convenience sake, Jin isn't, squishing the poor Peyton with his 310 pounds once he returns to Wizards. Thank you very much.
Could I could I look around the room and see if I could find anything interesting in the drawers or whatever?
Sure. Roll investigation.
Trash
Yeah,
roll today.
kind of try to scour the room. One interesting thing you find is that, kind of put a chair up to the corners of the walls where that poison came in, and you can see where there is sort of these what looks like false panels were recently installed. You can see they're crudely nailed in, and there's essentially just these what look like bladders, dried bladders from some kind of beast that have been deflated. Looks like this poison mechanism was actually pretty low tech.
Ugh. Disgusting. She kind of lowers herself and just. No one needs to know what we were breathing. Ugh.
Find anything?
Just the mechanism for the gas. For your own sake, you might not want to look up there.
Take your word for it.
Yeah.
I haven't found anything about a dungeon though, so maybe we should leave.
Yes, this woman does not seem like she is in. Well, she didn't seem like she was in the best state of mind.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, you should be careful if you run into her again, and hopefully she doesn't go around, tattling to more people. Although if we've straightened up our relationship with the harvesters, then that is at least one thing.
Hmm.
I'm not.
I hope we never have to see another one of those sons of bitches ever again, just personally speaking.
There's something about them. I don't know. Let's just go.
Yeah, I don't want to be around this place any longer. Let's move.
Yeah, I imagine as they walk out the door, Fukuro kind of opens the door, just kind of peeks outside to make sure that everybody in the entire walled city is not looking at us at the same time.
So you peek out, you actually do see kind of the upper 2/3 of the walled city, as I said, are very much makeshift, are bits of debris that have been repurposed, cobbled together into these towers. And from these makeshift balconies, there are several kind of gaunt, masked figures maybe hanging off the side, sort of looking down, were a few loud bangs, a bit of a commotion, but you don't see anyone rushing towards you. You don't see anyone uh, making a movement. In the weird circle around that statue in the center of the courtyard, still just doing their own thing. You jump slightly as another boom body thumps down from some unseen balcony above. And you see once more one of these greys kind of reach over to it and just start examining it. Looks like you got people's attention, but didn't spur them to action. Seems more like a, a momentary diversion in this place.
Right.
Basically, a lot of like crazy crap happens around here, so the sort of like weirdness threshold is a lot higher.
Better not stick around to explain, so they'll have time to think about this.
Yes, let's get them. I'd assume we'd like walk maybe like a few blocks away before starting to actually investigate.
Well, wait, if you walk a few blocks away, what if it's in this block? Because she said it was nearby and she saw them.
Oh, you're right.
Like, if she's very familiar with what they were doing, she must be fairly close by.
At least far away enough so that the people watching can't really see us. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I suppose you could do the brain radar while we're walking away.
Yeah. So as you exit, you hear a couple pops coming from the far end of the courtyard, and you can see what seem to be a few shorter masked figures that are. You see these like the harvester zeppelins, and they weren't out here when you entered. Of these shorter figures that seem to be kind of messing with one of them, and you see one of them kind of take off, splutter, and kind of crash gently into a wall. You see that there are two of these smaller ones and one what looks like a larger one. You see has this partially deflated balloon to it.
Are they taking them apart, the balloons apart for scrap?
What's that?
Oh, Shuriku was just commenting on what they might be doing.
Whatever they're doing, I don't think it's our business.
And these people who are doing this, they're not Harvarders, right? They're just normal dudes who found the zeppelins and they're just tearing it apart.
Make an insight check.
Okay. Insight. Yeah.
It doesn't take a ton of observation to realize from sort of the stature of these figures and how relatively spry they are and how kind of curious they seem to be about these mechanisms. These are actually kids, even though you can't see their faces through the masks.
Okay. I see. Oh man. We'll let the kids play with the zeppelins, I guess.
Let them have at least some bit of sunshine in this shithole.
Well, if they're curious kids, maybe they know other things. Their curiosity gets them into places.
Maybe? We could always ask them. Are you up to the task, or is your brain injury kind of giving us some ouchies?
I mean, unless anyone is better with children.
I don't know, I played with my little brother a lot when he was a kid.
How old do these children look?
It's kind of difficult to tell since they're all, sort of in similar rags and with masks on. Maybe in the 8 to 12 range.
Okay. I just wanted to have like this moment here. Huh. How old are these kids? 5?
And you could probably double that.
You look 10, but
Oh.
they still shouldn't be running around out here. Where are their parents?
I didn't think I was that small when I was a child.
I suspect they are not getting much nutrition around here.
That harvester
Hmm.
did say that they've never seen a banana before. Well, you know what? Musoka. Well, I mean, what would he even ask the children? Like, hey kids, you see any fortune dungeons around here?
Hey, kid, you see
Hey
any dead
kids, have you
bodies?
seen any fortune dungeons around here?
You know what? Screw that. I'm just gonna detect thoughts of the kids. No social interaction.
Well, how about you detect thoughts and I go up and ask them leading questions? Because that is how the spell
Naturally.
is meant to work. Because
Okay.
the spell is structured so you move their thoughts towards what you want them to think.
Right. All right.
'Cause otherwise you're just going to get something like, oh, look at this fancy balloon. We're having so much fun. So that
Yeah.
that is their current surface thoughts.
Yeah. Ask some stuff about like, kids, might get snatched up by the fortune's horde or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you got better be careful around here. Something like that.
Look, let's not add traumatizing children to our list of crimes here.
Why
On
not?
Honto, they're already traumatized.
Exactly.
Let's not make it worse.
These kids
I
have
think we're
probably
gonna
seen
make
more
their
shit
day.
than we have.
That's fair enough.
So Shiruko and Musoka, you approach these kids. Musoka, you start trying to get their surface thoughts, and it's more or less what you'd expect. Them, wondering what this does, what that does. One of them wondering if they can strip any of these and sell them to get food. Kind of mundane thoughts.
Right.
How to start this conversation? It's a pretty interesting project you've got going on here, children.
Sort of two of them kind of stop and turn away from you, and one of them says, "We found it. We found it first."
Oh, that is fine. We are not interested in the little techno balloon thingies. But are you locals to this area?
A few of them sort of look at each other, look back towards you. None of them answers.
Do I get any brain thoughts?
You get the sense that this is kind of a weird question, and they're a little nervous. It seems obvious that all of them are from here, but that they're nervous about someone who asks a question like that.
Right.
Kind of try to motion to Shiruku, like, be less creepy.
Yeah, you make the universal sign for be less creepy.
Yes, of course.
I'm always trying, but somehow I always mess up. Let's see. Well, okay. I see. You have no reason to trust some sort of stranger coming out here. How about we well, how about we introduce ourselves and perhaps give you a little gift to help us get along.
You can sort of see Bijutsu kind of ruffling around in her pocket, and then you sort of see her pull out what looks like a pack of playing cards.
But yes, I am Henso. This is my associate. Well, this is my friend. Nudge, nudge.
Oh, I'm trying to find my fake name. I had it.
I believe that your fake name was Mizuno Hito.
Misu no Hito. That's me.
Yes, and well, how about we make it a bit friendly? And he's gonna get a pack of rations out of his pocket and I guess hold it forward.
And immediately, the one who spoke to you kind of rushes up and goes to take it.
Yes, that is on the house. You can keep that.
Sort of opens it up, takes an inventory of what's inside. Aki now.
Ah, your name, I presume?
You told me your name. My name's Aki now.
Ah, that's a nice name. So, Aki. Can I call you Aki?
He shrugs.
So, Aki, you kids seem like the type who get around, who see all the goings on of this walled city, and we are looking for somewhere, somewhere that may not want to be found by ordinary people. It is a place, well, we are looking for where the Kokar have been disappearing.
I don't know about that.
Really, we heard from someone here that there is a little prison nearby, a dungeon perhaps. Have you been seeing people being taken into? Or have you seen people being taken away to anywhere recently? It would have stopped within the past few weeks, I believe.
People get taken away if they're stupid. Don't be stupid and you won't get taken away.
Well, how would I avoid being stupid then? Why were these people taken away for being stupid?
It just happens.
And when I detect thoughts, do I get anything about this place that people get taken away to?
You try to detect Akinao's thoughts, and the surface images you get, you put together they're probably not of these smugglers. You get the sense that disappearances are just kind of a fact of life in the walled city.
How about any of these kids? Any of these kids have like family members that got taken, quote unquote, or something like that?
You
Something
try to
messed up.
detect the others, and one of them, a shorter one, does seem to. This resonates a little bit more with them. They do seem to be thinking of a place here in this courtyard.
Just a place. Nowhere more specific. Maybe we gotta get the kid to think about it more.
Does Misaka nudge Shuriku and point to motion towards that kid?
Yeah. She kind of whispers to him, I think that one knows more, but we need to pry.
So no one here has heard of such a place. Quite nearby, perhaps. And as he pans over the crowd, I guess, his eyes linger for longer on this one kid. Maybe if we get the information we want, there might be another packet of food in it for you, or.
A few of them look more eager, and one of them steps forward, not the one that you're thinking of, and says, "Oh yeah, I've seen a place like that. A place where people disappear.
Really now?
Oh yeah. There's a place where they drink up on the fourth level. People disappear all the time in there.
Well, I'm detecting thoughts on this kid. Do I get any trace that he's lying or something, or?
You get the sense that this is a little bit of an embellishment on the truth, though they are thinking of a real place. Uh, Disappearances, it seems like they're sort of half inventing that.
Right.
That is all very well good, but we are looking for something a bit closer. Something, well, it could even be right in this courtyard, perhaps. Or it could not.
Yeah, people disappear in this courtyard. And then you see them hold out an open hand.
Aww.
Aww.
Well. Any specific locations in this courtyard?
Yeah, they disappear right there and right there. And I saw someone disappear right over there.
Aww. Fuck, I want to give him rations anyways. You know what? I'll hand him one. Whatever. Thanks for the help.
Thank you. And right now, just all of their focus is on the ration that you just handed them.
Sorry, my brother just came in. Okay. She's just gonna, screw it. Misoka's just gonna look over at the kid who's being kind of silent.
Yeah, how about,
What about you?
I have an idea, sorry. Can I...
Oh, go on.
He whispers to Musica. How about you go and talk to that kid? I'll distract all the others so they don't get, I'll distract them with more food.
Right. Okay.
Hey, you all know have you ever learned how to play Go Fish, kids?
And Misoka will waddle on over to that kid and just say, are you alright?
I'm not supposed to talk to...
Strangers? I'm sorry. I know what you mean. That's very good of you to make sure you don't talk to anyone suspicious, but I promise I'm not mean.
They just sort of are stepping from one foot to the other. You can see this is probably the shortest kid of the lot and seems, just from the voice, a bit younger. Sounds like a little girl.
Right. I think I would just, ask her, it's just when we brought up that you got a little sad. Are you okay? I just want to make sure you're not sad.
Just nods her head a little.
Do you know anything about what we're talking about?
Maybe a little.
Yeah? Well, if you were to tell us, I'll give you this, and she holds out a little ration.
Roll a persuasion, Musaka.
Persuasion.
I'll let you roll
yay.
it with advantage since you're holding out a ration.
Persuasion. A.
And she says, well, he's... I know someone who didn't disappear, but some people took him away. And they thought I was sleeping, but I saw it happen.
What? Who are these people?
I don't know.
Who got taken away? Someone from your family.
His... And my mom tried to ask me to call him dad, but he's not my dad, but he's nice most of the time.
Only most of the time? Right. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make you talk about it, but do you know where he got taken? He got taken. Because, well, like we said, there's a few people who've gotten taken and it's not good. We want to make sure no one else does.
It was over there. And she seems to point to the opposite side of the courtyard. And she says, it was right under the sign that has a picture of Leviathan.
Oh. And do I see it from here, or is it like... Is she
It's
pointing at a...
this courtyard is kind of a few city blocks long, and so it's a little tricky to make out. But she says, all the way, other side.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And, well, because you gave me this information, she's just gonna give her 5, chimes coins? Or how whatever equals like $5 in our world. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you give her 5 chimes. She looks down at them kind of blankly, as if they don't mean too much to her, or if she doesn't quite understand them.
Just, give them to your mother, okay?
Okay,
Alright. Have a good day, okay?
okay.
Aw. She pats her on the head and walks over to Shiruku. And Bijutsu.
And
Did you
wh-
get anything?
Yep. Under a sign,
Awesome.
under a sign that says Leviathan.
Well, it was nice speaking to all your kids. I wish you luck in your little project here, disassembling these vehicles. I hope you get what you're after out of them, and thank you for cooperating with us.
You can't see their eyes through their masks, but you get the impression that it's just a lot of blank stares.
Well, we give him a thumbs up, and what's it called? Well, for now, I don't think we should investigate that tonight. It's best that we got that information, but we should definitely try to sleep.
Just for the fun of it, are there any signs within view that say Leviathan?
Oh, I mean, you got the information that it was on the other side of the courtyard. You could just walk over there.
Let's do that.
We'll walk
It's
over.
it's not imminently nighttime, is it? Like, it's
No,
mid-afternoon.
no,
so
it's still still afternoon.
I don't think we should be too hasty in going back.
How long does it take for us to get from here to our hotel?
It's a little hard to say, but I mean, you're not super far from the Hanto Hotel, at least in terms of raw distance, as the crow flies.
And we know on our way here we had to figure out where we were going, but on our way back we just know where we're going. So we know it should be faster than that.
I guess he'll have to see.
I know.
Go the way that we came, except backwards. It's not that hard.
But yeah, let's have a look across the courtyard.
So, there's not a sign that says Leviathan, but I think between the 6 of you, and this is a pretty intelligence-heavy party, one of you would have heard. It's part of folklore, part of legends, that one of the great kami of the sea is the Leviathan, this immense serpent creature. And you do indeed see, it's not really a sign so much as it is a piece of graffiti, this serpent, And underneath that, there is indeed kind of an opening. You see that there are a few steps down, and it just looks like this wide, dark area, like when you see a concrete storefront that's just been completely cleared out. If anything, it looks cleaner than most of the walled city.
Well, this might be the place, but... Well, if we go in there, I do hope it's empty. I'm not sure I can handle another fight today.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's been cleaned out pretty good, just looking from here.
Which is why I'm thinking we probably shouldn't engage with it today. It's not too far from our hotel, and what time is the execution tomorrow?
I think it's in the morning.
It's in the morning. Maybe we can deal with whatever's going on over here after the execution.
Well, I suppose we don't have information. We don't have information that Changok is imminently arriving. That is the only concern, that we don't find his plans before he gets here.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, sorry, my Discord just, derped.
So, are you guys turning away from here and going to try to make your way back to the Hanto Hotel?
I mean, I'm of two minds. I mean,
I think it's a little sus to go in there. It's way too sus. We gotta rest.
you could take a
Some of us
short
got
rest.
a little messed up. Too sus.
Yeah, it's not like I mean, you can see into it pretty well. There's not like a closed door. You can see, yeah, kind of stretching to the back of it. It just looks like this. If anything, it looks like it may have been part of the original foundation of this so-called walled city, because it seems like the floor and most of the walls are stone, but it just looks dark and completely empty as far as you can see.
Oh. Okay. I'm getting signals that might be safe, so I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, we could have a quick look, and if it looks like it's too much to handle with what we got right now, then we head out after whoever poor bastard bites it tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's fine if we do like something quick in here.
Okay, a quick look. I don't mind. I don't mind.
All right. Can roll investigation if you wish.
I just need like a 10. Just like a 10, bro. That's all I want.
Yeah, you begin kind of rounding the sides of this room, and it seems to be, yeah, a single room. You can see the old foundations that run to the back. No iconography in there. But yeah, it seems pretty well scoured as far as you can see.
Doesn't seem very private.
That is surprising. You'd expect somewhere where you're keeping a bunch of people to be more private.
I mean,
This could be a red herring. If I look around, I definitely didn't notice any, I don't know, hidden trapdoors or something like that.
No.
Looking around, I didn't see any trapdoors or anything.
Maybe we should get a light. We are walking around in the dark, I think.
it's no problem for me, and Bijou just kind of adjusts her goggles again.
And why don't you have a look around with your special goggles then?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, Bijutsu, you can go ahead and roll investigation.
Son of a bitch!
No.
Do I roll
Damn.
watch on this one?
If you want to.
Relatively low stakes here.
Biological mishap. Okay.
Son of a bitch, it's jammed. I need to go repair this.
Well, I suppose there are some simpler solutions. Are there anyone nearby to see us?
Once you go into this structure, it seems like you're pretty well shielded from outside viewers.
Okay, I'm just going to cast Detect Magic just to check if there's anything shady in here. Of
You
extra
cast Detect
normal.
Magic. You begin walking around the perimeter of this. You're not detecting any magical signatures. Other than what you guys are carrying, including a very strong one from Shiruku's pack, but yeah, no magic in this room.
Do I know what that is? I'm not sure if I know what that is or not.
I'm not sure I know what it is. Well, I guess maybe it's a rhino penis.
Is that a pizzle in? No.
I'll let you roll an insight or a perception, Peyton.
Is that a pizzle in your backpack, or are you just?
Excited to see me.
I think he sees the thing and like raises an eyebrow, and I can roll an insight for that.
Yeah, you look at it, kind of the shape of this aura, and then you realize that you think you know what it is. You think that it's that odd flute that was given to him by the monks.
And as he's sort of still walking around, pinging, I guess it's not pinging. I'm not sure how you. I'm not sure what it visually looks like, really. But once he like walks up besides Shiriku, he just sort of says, while still sort of looking at his magic readout or whatever, the flute you have in your backpack is giving out some weird signatures.
Ah, well, I guess that is not entirely unexpected. I mean, he takes it out. It is some sort of Komoso relic. We do not know a lot about it, but apparently if we get into trouble, it might help. I don't know what you...
Yeah, you look at it. It's very simple, but it's still a beautiful piece of craftsmanship. This single piece of a very dense, almost ebony-like black bamboo.
Ebony-like. So, okay, we've had a few looks around. Are there any... is there any furniture in here?
No furniture.
So
I'll say this. You do notice there are a couple of places where it looks like there are metal loops set in the masonry on the ceiling. Maybe at one time a lamp or something hung from those, but yeah, it's not kind of a featureless, very well cleaned out place.
Well,
I think it looks cleaned out, not just like it's derelict.
Suppose these people maybe move around regularly.
it wouldn't surprise
I
me.
mean, you gotta keep a trail off, yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, and considering a child knew of this location, I'm sure the word actually got out and they had to move around.
Well, yes. That's not really what bothers me. What confuses me. It's not how they got the people in here, it's how they got them all out.
Those what did you say? Like chains in the ceiling?
More like metal loops, yeah.
Yeah, I want to just. How high is the ceiling?
I imagine it's like maybe 10 feet up, like 3 meters.
Okay, I want to just sort of try to yank at them slightly with a mage hand, just to see if there's anything there, like a hidden lever. Oh,
Uh, you conjure a mage hand, pull at these loops. They seem like they're in there pretty secure one by one, but yet one of them you pull and it has some give and kind of boom falls out along with a couple of little pieces of masonry, even with the relatively meager force of your mage hand.
disappointing.
All right.
Hey,
Well,
you tried.
yeah.
No,
And I don't want to
the
linger.
ceiling wouldn't be, though it would probably be the walls. So I was busy fixing my Discord. What does this place look like?
Very empty.
Looks like it's mostly sort of some kind of stone or masonry work. Looks like it may have been part of the original foundation of this walled city, but it's been completely scoured clean. If you want to, you can roll an investigation.
He also had a goggle malfunction.
Here.
I guess can Truku look up at where the chain fell out of the ceiling on the off chance there's something odd about the masonry?
Sure. Since everyone's doing that, I'll let Shiroku roll his own investigation.
You get an investigation, and you get an investigation.
If everyone jumps off a cliff, if you let your friend jump off a cliff as well. Yay.
Finally, some good investigation.
And there's some good fucking investigation.
So Shiroku, as you're looking, it's maybe to be expected that while the floor and the walls look like they're part of the original foundation, that the ceiling seems like it's probably a little bit newer. You can even see some places where it's has been patched over in wood. But this spot where that hook came out, you realize it looks much smoother, much cleaner than the rest of the ceiling. And you put it together, no, this was done very recently. This was like smoothed over. This is new masonry, and it was well done to look like the rest of the masonry of this place, but it's something new.
I feel like some god of luck has been cursing us and has now suddenly lifted their curse. By which I mean I think I found something.
Oh,
Oh, finally.
The ceiling, it is newly constructed, but very well done.
From the outside, did this place look like it had a second floor?
I mean, it's part of the walled city, so it's just floors and floors and floors above it. Many of them, most of them looking very makeshift. I will say it did look like there were maybe a couple more floors above it that at least had elements of the original foundation of the walled city.
I have
I
a really
suppose they
stupid
took out
idea.
the stairs too.
I have a really stupid idea. Jinroy, you have a masonry protocol, don't you? Jinroy?
Oh, is he gone?
Gielinor?
Rom?
Just sort of tap him on his screen or whatever, his eyes.
I don't know. Rum has said there are times when he'd pop in and out, so
Yeah.
That's possible. He's a
understandable.
little AFK.
Well, I'll say out loud my stupid plan then. My stupid plan was for Peyton to levitate Jinroy up and he can just smash at the top, at the wall, the ceiling. with his,
Don't want to cause a
masonry
cave
protocol.
in.
But like, if there are other floors, like even if there isn't stairs or a ladder, is there like an opening for where one should be?
I I don't think I understand your question. There's not an opening in this room.
On the ceiling?
Is there any way up to the upper floors?
No.
I think the idea is if there was one, that's what the masonry is there to cover up. The new masonry.
Oh, that makes sense actually.
So if maybe destroying the masonry would be a way forward, if we agree.
How? Now this hoop, I keep forgetting what you actually called it, fell out. But does the actual ceiling itself look unstable?
It doesn't look unstable.
Okay, I'm going to try to teleport up.
Go for
Oh
it.
boy.
Hell yeah.
I don't have the spell slots to bring me back again after that, but we'll figure it out.
Wait, okay, how about...
Actually, I can. Actually, I have a way down. Don't worry.
You do?
I have some other spells I can use.
Yeah, because you have Misty Step and then... Don't you have
Yeah.
something else?
Yeah. It's fine. I'm going to try to teleport up. Does anyone want to come with me, actually, since it's dimension door I'm using?
Will you be able to bring me back?
You'll have to rely on your own magic to bring you back, I think.
Are there, like, cracks in the ceiling? Because I could use gaseous form to get out.
No.
There might be a window or something.
No window.
I doubt the upper floor is sealed. Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, well, yeah, why not? Do it. I'll figure it out.
Okay, so Muska is coming with. Okay, dimension door.
Okay.
So you're trying to dimension door just like a foot past the ceiling?
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Hey.
as you let me read the directions on this. All right, you dimension door through the ceiling, and as you do, you feel this horrible crushing sensation as both of you, for a split second, partially phase through this already very cluttered upper floor before you push yourself. Oh no. The spell fails to teleport you.
Right.
As you partially phase through and then are shunted back to the lower floor.
Oh. Ow!
Oh, F.
Well, that didn't work.
There's a lot of clutter up there. Ow!
Well, what was your original plan, Shiruku?
Basically to not undo their masonry.
Yeah,
Well-
that sounds a lot more straightforward here, and I don't think anyone's really gonna give a shit.
We
Thing
could
is-
also look for an exterior window.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking, because there's a lot of clutter in there, and if you break it, it might just come crumbling down.
We wouldn't stand underneath it. We're not idiots.
Sure. But I think we'd be smarter if we looked for a window. That's all I'm saying. I'm just gonna, like, walk outside to the courtyard and just...
Yeah,
Okay.
you walk out, look at the levels above it, and you don't see anything that looks like a window until you get until you get like maybe 5 stories up, and it's where it's gotten very firmly into the sort of makeshift, plywood and particle board section of the walled city.
Never mind, there's, like, I walk back in. There's no windows except for about 5 stories up.
Well, that's an F for that plan.
An F? Oh, I think Lou said that. Anyways,
Maybe the kid's rubbing off on me, who knows?
Yeah. So, does anyone have an idea of how to break the floor?
Let's see. I have.
I can shoot pure magical force at it.
And I could use black tentacles to try to, well, control the blast a little bit.
Does that work against rocks?
More say you blast it. I'll use my tentacles to try to minimize the spread of any damage. You know what I mean?
Would assume pure magical force works on everything.
Aren't you just going to concentrate it onto one place?
I'm going to shoot arrows at it. 4 arrows.
Oh, I see.
Well, I guess it
You know,
depends
do
on
your thing
how
first.
good, how well it is made.
Yeah. Do your thing first. Try it.
Sure. Fukuro stands not directly under the spot he's shooting, because that would be a stupid idea.
Imagine we're all very close to the door.
It's going to be at an angle where I can hit it reliably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you unleash a volley of these glowing, sort of ephemeral chi arrows, and you can see there's a little bit of a couple of flakes crumble. It leaves a slight dent, but it looks like it's actually fairly well made. It was well patched. It doesn't seem like you're going to be able to break through by throwing arrows at it.
It's surprisingly well made. I think.
Is the ceiling like this is a specific section of the ceiling that looks like this, right?
That's right.
Okay. This is stupid, but does that count as an object? Since it's like a discrete part of the ceiling.
Oh no.
I don't think so.
Never mind.
I know you too.
I still like the idea of levitating Jinroy up there and he can have a go at it. Unless he has like some sort of extender legs.
Let's try it.
How tall is Jinroy again? Because this is only a 10-foot high ceiling, right?
He's your size. He's not tall enough to get up there on his own. I mean, maybe you could make a little bit of a human pyramid and he could stand on top of you, but
That sounds like a terrible idea.
No.
If only we brought a ladder.
all right. So are you doing that? Peyton is levitating Jinrui.
Yeah.
That's just my idea.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, y'all kept talking about this plan, and everyone but Peyton. So, Peyton, you cast Levitate on the robot, which begins to float up towards the ceiling. Julia, go ahead and roll Jin's Mason's tools. You can use either Strength or Wisdom for this.
Oh, do I have access to his sheet?
You should.
Oh, I have Bajutsu's, not Jin's.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, good.
Who has Jin's? Oh, Zori has
I
Jin's.
think I have it. Yeah, I can do that.
There you go. Nice.
So, begins working at it. You see the sort of little chisel and hammer and saw emerge from within a panel on his arms, and is working on this. Boom, boom, boom. Slowly, this crack grows in the ceiling, and 10 minutes pass, and he slowly floats back down to the ground. And you look up, and you can see he definitely made a lot of headway with it. There's even a little sort of a pinhole that got all the way through, but it seems like that wasn't long enough for him to fully break through.
Right.
Well, you mentioned the gaseous form earlier.
Oh, that's right. And when I looked outside, you said there was a window on like the 5th floor, right?
That's
Yes.
right.
Okay.
It's implied that that is not part of the jail that we're trying to get into.
Yes, but
Yeah.
we were just told there is a very, very small hole that no one could fit through, but maybe a gas could fit through.
So it can. Okay.
Well,
Yes.
that is what I am suggesting. You don't have to
Yes.
take the suggestion.
I'm gonna do it.
All right. Musoka, her form suddenly becomes shimmery and then disapparates into this little misty cloud.
And I'm gonna try to go through the hole.
Yes, like a fart in the wind, Musoka is gone.
So like
As
that
you
description.
emerge through that hole into a surprisingly cramped space, you can see that it is just piled high and dense with these, what look like these very plain metal frameworks. And there are these chains that are sort of in these coils on the wall. But it's actually a pretty small room. And you can see on the opposite side, there are what look like 4 essentially vents. And it looks like it's still stone in here, still looking like the material of the original foundation. And the vents themselves look like they're stone too. A couple of them look like they are large enough that a full-size person could crawl through them.
Cool. You know what? I'm just gonna venture forward and I'm gonna as a big old gas cloud, I'm gonna be sus and go into the vents.
All right, so there are 4 of these vent openings, sort of 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, going into the upper one or the lower one.
Let's try the upper one first.
So head into the upper one. You are in this this narrow stone passage, and it seems like it just curves up and goes vertical. You begin rising, vertically, until you emerge. The gaseous form above the walled city. It seems like this pipe vent thing went all the way to the ceiling, and you can see, yeah, this sort of makeshift, just how thrown together this whole place is. The ceiling itself is in every place slanted here and there, clearly not all built at the same time.
Whoa. What's the point of this thing? Takes into view for a minute before sliding back down, and then I guess I would take the lower one. Lower vent.
All right. So you have a flying speed of only 10 feet, but still, it's a whole hour, so you can do this. Head into a lower one, and it extends down for a much shorter amount of time, and then it seems to curve again and run horizontal for a while, and then down once more. And you are in what looks to be you're grateful that you don't have a nose or taste buds in your gaseous form, because it looks like you are in some kind of like a septic tank sort of thing, that you can faintly see a little bit of gray light on the opposite side of this chamber through what seems to be a barred grate.
I probably approach it.
Approach through, a little bit of gas exiting, and you see that it is ground level in the city. In the ashen pale, you see that there are these kind of ash drifts around you. You spot a shambling figure off on the other side of the street. You're not exactly sure where you are from here, but it took you a fair distance from the walled city proper.
Interesting. Alright. Weird that those vents, like, just lead somewhere totally different, but... Okay, I'm gonna go back.
Yeah, you guys have been waiting in here around for about a half hour, not sure what happened to Musoka, before finally this gas drifts back into the room.
And poof! Whew. I found chains up there. It's not very... Well, there's definitely signs of people being held here prior, but... I also saw 2 vents. One was just a septic tank, and then the other went all the way to the top of the walled city. It's quite the view. But I couldn't get to the 3rd floor.
Suppose that the prison might be sealed enough that they need a vent for air.
Yeah. And, well, I didn't hear any talking, anything. Footsteps while I was moving up, so I assume they must have relocated.
Well, we were
That
told
matches
this
what
place
we've
was
been told.
Yes. We were told this place was abandoned. Well, it seems the place of interest is that room you first went into. Sorry, that room you first went into, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that you have a good idea of what's in there, could you perhaps guide me or Peyton to teleport in there without the accident that happened before?
I cannot do that.
You already used it up, right?
I do not have many. I'm not sure how to talk about preferred spells like in universe.
I can only do that a few times a day, maybe, you know. Yeah.
That is okay. I can also do that.
Sure! I mean, I didn't find much up there. Just those chains and some broken wooden boards. It was kind of a small
All
room,
right.
but I could try.
So I'm going to break in here. This is going on for far too long. What is your ambition here? What are you guys hoping to do? I'm going to resolve it in a few rolls.
Alright, go.
Presumably, they're looking to see if they can find any clues as to where this place was relocated to.
I'm going to say this. Everyone's already rolled investigation. You're not going to find anything.
Alright,
You
that's
take
fair.
another hour, work on the ceiling, eventually find that, okay, there are these very crude metal brackets, but you put together with those and the chains and this density, maybe they were like spaced out in this original room at one point. Less a dungeon and more a series of, what do you call the thing where you put your head and your hands through? Stalks, almost like a
Yes.
series of sort of chain stalks, but you can't put together where they've gone from here.
Okay. And well, the whole reason we were trying to find the Fortune's Hoard was because we wanted to see if they had like a way to the Grey Dama, and we kind of found that already. So.
We kind of wanted to know if they had connections with Changok.
Oh, you're right. That too.
Yeah, because we're mostly concerned with off-the-island stuff specifically because of him, and they seem to be like a likely lead on that.
Yeah.
All right.
Since we found a way into the... Oh my god.
The Phantom Court?
Thank you.
There you go.
Jesus Christ. Since we managed to find a way into the Phantom Courts, I feel like it's a little bit less of an issue. But first of all, because Changok supposedly isn't even here, he's in the Tengu Tetrahedron right now, so...
Yep.
I'll let Fukuro or Shiroku roll an insight with advantage to resolve the rest of this time in the walled city.
What's your insight bonus?
5?
Oh, mine 8. Want me to do it?
Yes.
Okay. You gotta be fucking kidding.
Oh,
would you like to re-roll that? I'd be willing to give you foresight because that is terrible.
Yeah, I would like to re-roll that, please.
I give you 2 foresight to re-roll that because
This
Jesus
is
Christ.
the third time that's happened to me in this campaign. The first 2 happened in the same session.
Sorry, I gotta screenshot that.
Let's fucking go. Oh, okay.
All right, you taking all of this time to investigate, you don't come up with much. You do find one thing. You find where, cast off to the side in a dark corner, actually, it's just inside one of the vents. Seems like maybe it got lost accidentally. A small diamond hasn't been properly cut. It's dull. But it calls something to you, Fukuro. This luster, both of you guys worked a little bit with gems before, saw a little bit of the wealth of other places, and spent some time on Rembo, and you realize this color, you're not an expert, but this very well may be the color of the diamonds that are harvested on Renbo that you know come from beneath its slave worked peat fields.
Actually, I may be an expert because I have, expertise with jeweler's tools, actually.
You do? Oh, damn. All right, then. You're much more secure in this. You spent some time with, as part of your work, maybe in the SSC, you were tracking down counterfeits, who knows what. But, yeah, you put together, this is a Renbo diamond. As you take this, share it with the rest of the party, it's starting to get late. You begin to make your way back through the walled city, but with now Yori nowhere in sight, it's a much trickier job to navigate its Byzantine labyrinth of hallways. It takes you several hours to the point where it's nighttime when you finally emerge. In the course of it, maybe fending off various pushers, lowlifes, thugs who are no real threat to a party of your magnitude. You eventually return to the Hanto Hotel. You take your rest. Where Shiraku, you lay down trying to sleep, trying to find some respite from this traumatic experience you had today. Toss and turn as you try, you are unable to fall asleep.
Oh, great. There's a second character who can't sleep.
Oh,
Oh dear.
Doctrix is dead, that's right.
hey, so real fast.
Oh, never mind.
No, you go. You go first.
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to have a Usoka moment.
Of course.
Usoka moment. Okay. Yeah. While he you said he can't sleep, physically cannot.
Yes.
I think Usoka's trying to help him. Like, she casts drowsiness on him.
You cast drowsiness on him, and I'm assuming that Shiruku does not try to resist this.
Yeah, I guess they've arranged that. Oh, Shuriku has told Musaka about this, and he's asking for her expert dream skills. So yeah.
Yeah, it works, and you fall asleep for 1 hour, and then you wake up to a darkened room. I don't know if you've maybe switched so you can be closer to Musoka since she's helping you to sleep, but you look over to see the siren already in her own slumber.
Well,
She thinks she's did a good job, except she didn't.
wonder, could I cast Dream on someone who's already asleep? And send them in somewhere?
Try it.
You gonna try to cast Dream on yourself, or?
Oh, myself seems a bit... Wait, actually, how does that spell work?
I don't know about yourself, but if you
Roll.
try to cast...
Doesn't it say you can choose a messenger or something?
Yeah, you can cast on other people, but
Roll an Arcana check, Shiroku.
oh,
You get the sense that casting Dream on someone, when you do so, those dreams are very active, and you somehow feel like just the thought of being active in someone else's dream feels exhausting. Yet casting it on yourself, it feels like an unknown. You're not sure if casting it with someone else would actually help you sleep or not.
well,
Never know until you try.
I wasn't thinking of it helping me sleep. I was more thinking of, well, can I send someone else to interfere with the dreams of someone far away? But
You could always test it on Mushoka.
I would say test it on yourself. See if it makes you fall asleep.
sure, I'm going to cast Dream on myself, and you know what? Just because I hang on, I don't want to do a big roleplay of Dream right now. I'm going to go into Musaka's Dream.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Well, that's how Dream works, isn't it? Because I cast it on myself and I go into the dream of someone else. That's how the spell works.
Oh, I think what he means is like, say you cast dream on yourself, you make yourself dream, but you go into the dream of yourself, which I don't
Wait,
know
what?
if that would really work. That's
Wait, so are you doing this on yourself or are you going into Musaka's dream?
just go into my dream.
No, I'll do it on myself since I think that's what the original implication was. Just so there's no confusion, I guess.
It's up to you. If you want to use this to go into someone else's dream, you can absolutely do that.
Well,
I mean, that's the main use of the spell as written.
yes. Well, the spell literally does say if a creature can't sleep, the spell fails. So I don't think casting it on myself will do anything.
Oh, interesting.
But I want to try and make myself sleep by using it to enter the dream of someone else who is already dreaming. Is my idea.
Hmm.
And that target, I guess, is Musaka?
Well, had you roll that Arcana check, but so you're going into Musaka's dream.
Yep.
Okay. You accept responsibility.
What was that?
Nothing.
So Musaka, go ahead and describe what does Musaka dream of?
Muska right now she's dreaming about swimming in her Siren Cove. Just a very relaxing dream. I imagine she might be lucid dreaming. Maybe she's in front of a little chalkboard. She's just writing down some stuff about the day. She tends to lucid dream and like study a little bit, take notes. She uses her dreams very like she doesn't waste time.
Suddenly, Shirku is there with you, having fun, swimming around, learning a little bit more about your Siren Cove. When the gray morning comes, all of you feel rested. You've had this full night, except for Shirku. Shirku, you entered Musaka's dream. Had an interesting time there, but it didn't feel like you were sleeping. And indeed, you regained no hit dice and no spell slots. With that,
Oh
let's go
Okay.
ahead and take a quick break. This morning, has Chiruku sucked to replenish himself? Who knows? But you guys have put together whatever morning activities, routines you need in this sort of ruined grandeur of the Hanto Hotel. You've reconvened together. Shiriku's still looking very worn out, almost more from just what looks like a drag on his being, on his alertness, than it is the still visible wounds. You know that the hanging will be this morning. What are you guys up to?
How many hours till the hanging?
A narratively appropriate number.
Perfect. In that case, damn. Do I still have that bloody piece of brain? Probably not, right?
You can say you have it.
Okay. You know what? Misaka would have saved it. So, like, whether she has like some kind of a little bag of it, something like that. But either way, she talks to Peyton and she just says, "We need to find out a way to reattach this or something."
Yes, unfortunately I don't have any of the equipment I would need to properly analyze this sample.
I know what you mean.
That's my brain you're talking about.
I suppose that's
Yes.
actually a rather interesting philosophical question. I mean, it's not part of your brain any longer.
It is his brain. And, well, thing is, we are going to have to examine it to see what exactly happened. This is going to be weird, but can we look in your head hole?
Is there still like a hole or a wound there?
I'll say that's up to Shiriku.
I
Okay.
can decide whether my skin has got a step or not.
I
Yeah.
mean, he received some magical healing, so it's up to you if that sealed that over or not.
I'd say that it helped, but it didn't completely heal. It's going to need more care.
Right.
Most okay, you can have a look, I guess. See if you'll see anything in there.
I just want to assess the damage. I won't hurt you. I'm not gonna poke
Accidentally
anything.
stabs his brain.
No, I just, okay, she, like, goes behind him. A little mad that he didn't cover it up better. Just, she's gonna, like, look at, so this thing was a drill, right? What shape was the drill? Like, was it like a spiral? Was it a...
I think so. I mean, I feel like that's what drills usually are.
Okay.
It was definitely unusual. There were more moving pieces to it.
Hmm. Do you think you could cast a detect magic, Peyton, just to see if there's something happening here?
Well, I will remind you, he did do that yesterday. We talked about my flute.
Oh, you're right, and you didn't see anything from his head?
Is it an acceptable medical practice to cast Identify and push like your your finger into the back of his head?
All you have to do is be touching him. Jesus Christ!
Well, I have to be touching the pointing. No, never mind.
You
It's
just
kind
have
of
to be
stupid.
touching his body because it goes through his whole body if you touch him while doing it.
Looks like God.
Doesn't
Can
that
we
only
just
work
touch...
on magical effects anyway?
Yeah, it's kind of stupid. It wouldn't work.
This is a physical effect of some kind. Mostly the removal of an organ.
Yeah, I suppose we should both just take a look at the wound and make our own
assessment.
educated analyses.
And
So you pull back the sort of scarf, ascot, whatever you want to call it. Musoko, you've already spent some time looking at this. You're not sure if the light of day is going to reveal anything to you. Peyton, you haven't spent as much time investigating it, so Peyton, I'll say you can make a medicine check. Yeah. With just sort of trying to look up into this reddish wound, it doesn't really tell you much more than what you already know.
I can't.
nothing.
I can't make much out of this. I would suggest that next time we have the opportunity, we should buy some supplies. I believe I could as the sample, whereas you, Musaka, are probably more suited to investigating the patient.
Right.
I am resigned to say that, well, if this is fixable, it probably is not fixable on Hanto. It's we can't really do it. It's such a complicated thing to do as field medicine.
Right.
Oh, I actually have bone setters tools. I'm not sure entirely what that includes.
Well, I think the idea is that the wound itself is just fine. It's just
Yeah.
You need a piece of brain to fix this problem?
I'm thinking like I
The
have.
brain is meant
I'm thinking next time we get the opportunity, I want to buy some alchemist supplies because I'm proficient in it, and that could help me figure out more about the sample thingy. Probably, maybe, if God is nice.
I mean, do you want to play Surgeon Simulator on him? It's not
That's
gonna
what we're
end
doing.
well.
All right. Well, for now, Misoka's just gonna like, tie a bit of a bandage to that area, just make sure it's actually properly covered, and then put his scarf over and just say, "We'll have to deal with that when we're off of Panto. And you're definitely okay to move around today."
I mean, I feel surprisingly fine, aside from the fact I haven't slept.
Aggressive robot noises. Do you require healing?
I suppose so.
It is not through the suck effect.
Oh my god.
Oh, really? What protocol is this then?
Blow.
Well, I mean, you see the hands kind of rubbing them together and kind of produce this static electricity and say defibrillator.
He's not having a heart attack.
That doesn't seem appropriate use of those means.
He zaps him anyways.
Just let the robot do what he wants to do. Let's concentrate on what we need to do today. Don't worry about me. I'm all right for the moment.
Okay. If you say so.
Right, so my defibrillator isn't that great, but hopefully this will be I don't know, enough for 1 or 2 juices. How much HP are you missing?
Still 13.
All right then, let's see.
Unlucky. Clear.
Ooh, actually, with that, I'm just gonna spend 2 extra lay of hands. Well, no, wait. Another cure wounds. Why not?
Okay. If you want
Clear.
to do that.
Exactly
That's
the
the
amount.
perfect number.
Oh, perfect.
Oh wow.
So there's a little bit of this unpleasant jolt as these two metal surfaces on his hands get into you, but you do somehow feel better after that. So you guys gather your things up. What are you guys up to?
So, bone setters tools.
Bone
Is
setters
that
tools.
like? Does that include like scalpels and like things for making like operations?
Yeah, it will include some stuff like that.
Okay, I think I would give them to Musuka then because she seems better at medicine stuff.
All right, Musoka, you now have a set of bone setters tools.
Oh, thank you. This will be, although I don't think we can do anything right now, but we'll keep this in mind for later. All right. In that case, I guess we get ready for the execution. Ooh.
So, putting on your masks, making your way out into the city. Fortunately, it is not raining today, though there is still that ever-present weight to the sky of the ash. You make your way through. through the causeways, closer to the center of town, towards the striking tree line of the Dracker Green, and you realize that while you've mostly seen these scattered clumps of people shuffling along through the Ashen Pale, never before have you really seen crowds making their way in here. It's thriving, bustling in a way that you've never seen before, as the tall green trees gently sway in the breeze. You enter one of the four causeways that leads onto this green square, are surprised to see, though still scrubby and brown, living grass under your feet. There are even masked vendors pushing things, some who are offering shimmer kelp, offering coal spliffs, several offering beet sticks, some for chimes, some for barter. You approach closer to the center where you can see that there are these sort of just low stone benches set up amphitheater style. Before them, the raised nooses, gallows. It's actually a set of several of them, all in a line on this platform. There are families, there are children. You see that there are actually several graves that are not the shambling, bandaged sorts that you've encountered on street level, but simply seem to be comporting themselves like regular people, except with somewhat color-drained skin and not needing the masks. Surprisingly clean on the paved walkways between the greenery. And you also notice that there are a few pillars spaced here and there around the outer perimeter of this place, semi-ruined from the large platform that this place was built on. But you see that a few of them have these kind of reptilian faces etched into them as part of their worn and weathered motifs. Actually, to a couple of you, they maybe even look a little bit similar to those bizarre rock-clinging lizards you encountered when you first arrived at Hanto.
Does it seem similar to the things that Peyton read about? Those reptilians of the past?
Possibly.
Okay.
Do I want to use a light adventure theme here, or do I want to use a creepy theme here?
Depends. Is stuff gonna be creepy?
Or it's
I
gonna be a
mean,
fun execution.
You're at a hanging, but there is sort of more lightness, more something closer to excitement and a community spirit than you've seen elsewhere.
Kind of creepy, actually.
All right, I'll go creepy. So, are you guys doing anything? You buying a beat stick, or are you just trying to find a good spot? You trying to scope out the crowd? What are you up to?
I'd say.
I guess Fukuro would be looking around to see if he can see where the... Does it seem as though they have kept the person who is going to be hanged on public display at this point?
You can see that actually kind of behind the gallows, there are a few, actually several tents set up. And it seems like there's a little bit of a perimeter being kept away from there. And as you look in that direction, you see a few figures in simple robes wearing these slate masks of these sort of blank-faced feminine faces, and with these horns looking like these heavy sawn-off horns extending from them in four directions. And there are a few of these people.
Are there any other guards anywhere else, or just by those tents?
Any other what?
Any more of those guards anywhere else, or just by the tent?
Yeah. I'll just call them what they are. It's obvious enough from context clues. You put together these are the observers. You even hear some whisperings of that through the crowd. There are a couple spaced here and there around the green, probably closer to where the causeways are that lead into it from the rest of the city.
Yes. I think I would see Fukuro like looking at them and just say, those large hordes are hordes of Tian Lo. They're those
So-
fortune beasts, remember?
No, I don't. I wasn't in the library with you.
Oh, right. Well, basically, those horns are horns of Tian Lo. They're these kind of ancient, maybe mythical beasts that were gold seeking. Apparently they used to be native to the, but I don't know if they're real. They seem a little, well, mythical. But yes, those are definitely observers.
So I figured this much. Interesting, we haven't seen them around. Is that mask the same as the one that Fukuro saw on that one person down here a couple days ago?
Oh yeah, yes it is.
Makes me think they're more royal guard. Like they're only really here to protect the Khan or perform duties for the Khan, if you know what I mean.
Yes. It's a very lively gathering for the death of someone or multiple someones.
Like I said, everyone on this island is crazy.
Well,
Let's
if
see.
nothing ever happens, and anything happening becomes exciting.
Very true. If I look around the crowd, I mean, obviously, like the citizens are wearing masks and stuff, but I don't know. Anybody look like they're wearing gang uniforms? I don't
Roll
know
a
what-
perception check.
Yeah. Any gang boys? Nope. Probably not.
Yeah, with so many people kind of coming in, staking their own claims on seats here, some milling around, it's kind of too many to get a bead on any one person. It feels like those from all walks are here. You see some that do look a little bit harder, a little bit more threatening. You see families. It's looks like this is one of the rare events that can bring the whole community out.
Uh-huh.
So, Fukuro. This might be a long shot, but you remember how we tracked the Pirzor to Kamishima?
He taps his arm where the object detection engine is.
Yes, indeed. So we know that the Fortunate Horde have been getting a lot of diamonds recently, and we have an example of one of those in our possession.
That's actually funny. I was just thinking about doing the exact same thing.
But we would have to take away the diamond we already have, I believe, in order for that to work.
What are you talking about?
Out of character, I thought it only finds the closest one. So if there's one already, if you're already carrying one, it's just going to locate yourself.
I mean, I'll allow you to say that you left it back at the hotel room if you wish.
No, it doesn't say that it only locates the closest one. It just says that you can locate any kind of that object. Oh yeah, the nearest object of a particular kind. Okay, I see it now. Yeah.
Well, that is what I think. It worked so well last time we were trying to detect a jewelry.
Yep, sure. I guess
Emeralds.
left it very stashed away somewhere at the hotel. So, yeah, he presses a few buttons on his arm, beep boop, like he's Batman or something, and yeah.
You activate this engine, and you get a ping You realize, as you kind of move, the location of this ping shifts slightly, but not as if it's actively moving, as if the closest one is changing. And you realize that in the front row, there's a whole line of people, each of them pinging. And now, maintaining your distance, sort of squinting towards them, you can see that several of them actually, on their visible fingers or around their necks, you can see that there are little diamond pendants, diamond rings, you know, all of them looking like they came off the set of a hip hop video, you know? It's like gaudy.
Yeah. Kuro kind of taps Shiruku on the shoulder and points down to the entire first row there. There is your fortune toward, or somebody who has a lot of those diamonds around their neck, fingers, wrists, maybe other places.
They are not being very surreptitious.
Does it look as if this might be a big insight thing or a long shot? Does it look as if the observers have noticed them or care that they are there?
Roll an insight. Looking at the way that they're situated and how close they are to the observer's tent, you almost get the sense that that the observers have welcomed, maybe even facilitated their presence, as if the first row was reserved for them.
That wouldn't be too hard. It seems almost as if, rather than having to hide, they are welcomed by the observers. In fact, I think the first row may have been specifically reserved for them.
At this, a hush falls over the crowd as you hear a magically amplified voice ring out. A woman's voice, as one of these observers has taken the center of this gallows platform that is serving as a stage. And she continues on. Oh, beloved citizens, guardians of the proud ways of Hanto, welcome! We are so delighted that you have joined us out here today at the Draca Green. Those of you who are proud, those of you who have stayed faithful, true to our traditions, to our stewardship over this land, and over its rulers. Today, we have a special treat for you, because we will be able to bring great justice to betrayers, to those who have turned against the ways of Hanto. We have today the full assemblage of the Kohan Kazoku, this odious gang of miscreants. And all of the crowd, as if on cue, you hear them like hissing and booing. Yes, show them your rage. Show them the righteous fury of those who are noble and loyal to Hanto.
Ooh!
These fiends conspired with foreign powers. They provided maps, they provided funding, they provided means for a foreign invasion. Yes, they and their foreign conspirators thought to kill the Grey Dama. And worst of them all is their leader, Yukimura. That name itself turns to ash in my mouth. At this, the boos are getting even louder. But then a hand goes up. But yet, through the work of we the observers, who are always watching, who always know, who will always look out for you, the loyal people of Hanto, they today will face their righteous retribution. They will be reborn. and allowed to serve the Phantom Court directly. Now, as always happens, and I am pleased to say that many of you may be able to have quite a full roster, I will need to ask for a volunteer from among you, the true people of Hanto.
Sukuro.
Instantly, dozens, hundreds of hands go up. Only she picks one of them from near the front. And now you. What is your name, sir? It's Hironaga. Hironaga, true citizen of Hanto. Today you will have the privilege of choosing the means of execution for the first of these miscreants. And you see them shuffling someone out of the tent, another pair of these observers, wrists bound in rope. And immediately the crowd is broken out, people shouting forward. The most common shouts you hear are people shouting for, "A pole! The pole! No, the slack rope! Go the slack rope!" You hear one voice saying, "What about the long drop?" And it sounds like someone smacked the person who called for a long drop. "No! Save the good stuff for later. Let's see the short drop! The pole!" You see the guy at the front is sort of looking uneasy, and then he says, "Fine, I'll go with the pole." Then there's a cheer from the crowd. And you see they pull up this sturdy wooden pole with a noose at the end, loop it around this prisoner's neck, secure the pole to what looks like a ready-built hole in the front of the stage, and the observer's voice rings out again. "Now, no one rush up before it's time. On the count of 3, the floor will drop out from under this fiend, and you will all get the chance to exact your own retribution personally." You see several people get up, some of the crowd leaning forward. See several of them holding these metal poles that you saw being sold earlier as beat sticks. 1, 2, 3, and you see a little section of the stage drops out, and you see the guy drop. But the rope is sort of loose enough, and he's able to kind of get leverage from the pole to partially pull himself up. And that is when the crowd surges forward, and you see just this flurry of metal bats just bam, 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 like the world's worst piñata. After only a few seconds, you start to see these sprays of blood. And eventually, bam, 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 after about a minute, you can't even clearly see the body under the crush of people, but you just see the head, the eyes wide, mouth goggling, with all of the pressure from underneath just pops out from the noose, goes flying out. You see one person running back like a quarterback and manages to catch it, and then gives a little cheer. And as the crowd begins to push back again, you see a couple of the observers with what looks like like this 2-person shovel, this big scoop, essentially kind of come forward, bring up the mangled remains, and then another cheer as the lead observer comes forth. "And for our next prisoner!"
Peyton just sort of eyes the others.
This isn't an execution. This isn't even a game show. This is... I don't even know what this is.
Like I said, this whole island's crazy.
That is certainly one of the more brutal things I've ever seen.
Gods.
Permission to expunge data from memory later.
Permission
Yeah.
granted.
I have a question. When she mentioned their leader being captured, did she point out someone, or is that person who she was talking about not visible?
Didn't point out someone, and indeed, as the next two executions happen, similar gruesome states. As a matter of fact, the next one, instead of that, you see that it's actually a different new setup and too high for people to beat him, and instead they're pulling on his legs to force him to be choked. But it seems like they're bringing out these prisoners one by one, and you get the impression that Yukimura is probably going to be the last person hanged.
I like this arc.
Hi, can we have less gruesome things in Varrock? Thanks.
No.
I will say I based all 4 methods on real execution methods used up until the early 20th century.
Oh, you just sent me down a rabbit hole and a half, buddy. Holy. Yes.
These aren't even like half as gruesome as some that they did in other time periods, to be honest.
I
Oh,
guess.
yeah.
You ever heard of a wooden horse?
Ugh.
I can imagine.
So,
But
as these prisoners start to come out, and each time she brings up a new volunteer from the audience to speak to decide their means of execution. What are you guys up to? You guys just watching? Any of you raise your hands?
no.
I think we should go.
No. I mean, you can if you want, but I believe there is at least one person we want to see before he dies.
The head honcho, huh? Yeah, I don't want to take place in this gore fest.
Also, here's a question. Throughout this whole thing, what are the Fortune's Horde doing? The whole row of people with diamonds, are they participating?
You see them sitting up and kind of being a little bit rowdy, having a lot of cheers, a lot of yeah! But they never actually get up to participate, to do any of the pulling or beating. That came out wrong.
Right.
And
Uh-huh.
and indeed, a few of them seem maybe a little stoic, maybe even a little tense.
So, can we see people leaving from time to time, or is it like the guards will all side-eye you if you try to leave, kind of thing?
Doesn't seem like many people want to leave, but it's not like the observers around the perimeter are making any move to stop people, with those few who trickle out.
If you want to leave, Peyton, I'll go with you. Kind of puts a hand on his shoulder. This is a little unnecessarily brutal. I understand.
Well, I feel like I can take it. It's not as if I can have nightmares about it.
Well, hopefully you will be able to.
I don't want to have nightmares about this, frankly.
May I recommend therapy?
Hey, sometimes nightmares can be therapeutic in a way. But
Yes,
either
in
way-
any case.
Peyton, are you okay to stay, or do you want to go?
I'll see you later.
So, Peyton, you're making your way back to the hotel?
Not sure back to the hotel, but like outside this sort of main
And I'll go with him just so he's not alone.
plaza place, I guess.
I say we, stay around the same area, but just far away enough that we don't see these horrible
Yeah, like-
executions.
I'm not sure what the layout is, but like, if it's like a main square or something like.
Yeah, it's
Outside
kind
of-
of, as I said, everything's by these sort of catwalks, but the ones leading to the Dragger Green, it's got a one from each of the 4 directions, and they're wider than most, so there are plenty of ways to leave easily. Yeah, you've got options if you just want to hang around, but not be close to here.
Yeah, we'll go
So-
together.
I can't say I blame them. That first one was bad enough.
Yes. Well, I think unfortunately I will have to get a bit closer. I think we need to know if what the observers were saying was the truth or not. And the person who...
So, this happens for the next 45 minutes, say, one by one, bringing up these maybe close to 24 of these people.
Can we use the rushes and the movements of the crowd to get closer?
Yeah.
this happens?
It's very easy to get closer if you wish to.
Ah.
Get up closer, and then the lead observer seems to announce. And now we'll need a very special volunteer because we face down perhaps the worst miscreant of all. Well, the worst save one. Yukimura himself. You see this sullen figure does not give an a mask despite being clearly of the living. He's wearing this armor that, despite being semi-makeshift, looks kind of impressive, has this odd skull motif across it. Yeah, I'm going there. And for the first time, you see one of these Fortune's Horde members raising up a hand. She picks him up, and she says, "Oh, and what is your name, sir?"
Well, I don't want to give a name because I like to think I represent every good person in Hanto.
Oh, a noble sentiment indeed. Now, as they lay a noose around Yukimura's neck, what will you choose for this fiend's means of execution? And at this, Yukimura, he puts up his head and he shouts, "It's not true! None of it is true!" Then you hear the person who hasn't given his name say, "Long drop." And before Yukimura can say anything else, they, boom, let out the floor from under him and just tight. And this is probably by far the least gruesome of the executions because it's just in one fluid moment, bam, his neck is clearly snapped and he's dead. You hear these boos ring out across the crowd. Oh, simmer down, everyone, please, please. I understand your frustration, but remember, it is the job of the volunteer to have that sovereign right, as any of you would if you were selected up here. And I do greatly hope that all of you at one point will choose the means of execution. That is your duty and your right as a true citizen of Hanto. But do not fret, for we have one final name on our roster. Well, this grand finale is something of a last-minute addition, but it's one that's truly special. A Westerner, someone who was welcomed into the Grey Dama's court with open arms, yet used this opportunity to betray her, to turn against her, to try to weaken the Khanate and take it for himself. I bring you a man who we only know as M. And you see this figure in dark robes being led out. You see he's got a gag in his mouth, unlike the others, and has, instead of the two leading him, sort of 4 observers who have their hands firmly clamped around his shoulders. So I know you guys asked if you could get closer. You guys up to anything? Are you guys going to raise your hands for this one, or just seeing what happens?
Well, I do want to... What's his face? I already forgot his name because I'm terrible with names.
Yukimura.
When Yukimura yelled that it wasn't true, can I have very, very quickly rolled an insight to see if he was telling the truth or if he's just...
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
You think he was telling the truth.
And could I let's see. I would like to detect thoughts, just the surface thoughts, so they're not aware of this, of the person who volunteered to execute them. So what are they thinking as they are doing all of this? Mainly trying to understand. Oh, what does this person have a special vendetta against Yukimura, or something similar? Why are they so enthusiastic?
You get the sense that he's pleased that was able to get up there quickly enough that Yukimura wasn't able to talk. You overall get just this kind of smug surface feeling over watching these Kohon Kazoku, people for whom they clearly have a lot of enmity, all essentially wiped out in one fell swoop.
So no stray thoughts of their past relationship with these people as they think over the death or anything like that?
Not the volunteer, at least.
Okay.
Uro kind of, I guess, taps Shiroku on the, or nudges him. Yukimura was definitely telling the truth. At least he thought it was the truth.
Well, he wasn't the one with all the diamonds, was he? I assume.
Sorry, say that again?
He wasn't the one with all the diamonds, was he?
No, he wasn't. It seems as though it should be obvious. I'm sure the observers are not fooled. So what is the real point? Is it to fool the people?
The observers may not have any love for the Grey Dama. They may not want to stop an attempt against her. But perhaps we should not whisper when we are less than 30 feet away from them.
That's fair.
So, as you are here watching this M put forward, you hear a few whispers in the crowd around you, more than for the previous ones, one of them saying, wait, who's that one? I heard he's working on the rift as some kind of Western expert. No. I heard that he's actually the Grey Dama's secret lover. Grey Dama doesn't have a secret lover. Well, that's why it's a secret. And all kinds of like little bits of conflicting gossip here and there. She asked, for this very special finale, we have a volunteer. Assuming none of you put your hands up.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to worsened, how bad of an idea would it be?
Probably
At least the
no.
working.
I'm thinking it would at least be a worsened level idea because that would be a very quick way to expose us as outsiders.
Yeah. I wouldn't do
2/3
it.
worsened, honestly.
Okay, yeah, 2 worsened. Okay, never mind.
I said 2/3, but yeah.
That's too much of a... 2/3 worsened is too much worsened.
Too much worse.
Hey, you can never have too much worsened. As a worsened main, okay?
As someone who mains worsened, I say you can never have enough worsened.
Exactly.
So-
no, we're not raising hands, I believe.
All right. One of these, someone at random is selected, goes up. You can see this person sort of sullen in his eyes, but not struggling even past the gag. Once more, the rise, the shouts, and finally says, a short drop! Very well, a short drop. You see them with the noose around his neck slightly slack, and boom, the floor drops out. And you see it, eyes bulging, neck trying to tense, tongue flailing. And with this short drop, it's situated back so the people aren't able to pull on him, aren't able to beat him. But it extends. It's clear that he's suffering for the next 2-3 minutes before finally the body stops twitching. And that is when you hear in the distance, boom. Not sure if it's a rumble of thunder. And then another one. Boom. This one a little louder. Boom. Peyton and Musoka, you, maybe a block away, and with a little bit more visibility without these strange trees to block it, can see there are these crooked towers that you've noticed situated, spaced all throughout the Ashen Pale. And you see, you've heard 2 of these booms, then this last one, you see some kind of a reddish light, almost like flame, but somehow cooler looking. Somehow, giving the impression more of neon than of fire. Seems to light up at the top of a distant tower at the same time you hear that boom. And then another one, a bit closer. And then boom! Another one right near you. You see that it's right adjacent to the Drakkar Green. The rest of you see this tower that's suddenly illuminated with what looks like some kind of a magical flame. And you hear someone say, "The beacons! I haven't seen that since in years!" And instantly, you see the observers, the ones who are at the edge, all rushing up towards the front, rushing towards the tents. You see people looking around, and the lead goes up in front and says, "I am sorry, everyone, but urgent matters call us. I will need to request that everyone disperse. Service on the shoreliner is shut down for the foreseeable future. We will be updating you if anything changes. Everyone, please disperse."
What the hell could that be?
I don't know.
Or we're not together.
But we better get out of here before we get trampled on.
Should we? Should I do something worse in then?
Well, okay. Level with me. What is it going to be?
I was going to disguise myself as an observer and follow them. Because they're all running into those tents.
No! That is 2.5 worsens.
No, it's probably only about a half a worsened. Maybe less.
That's still too much worsened.
But
Isn't that 3/4 worsened?
no, it's a good idea until one of them talks to you.
Yeah, but he can disguise his voice.
They don't all
You
know
can.
each other.
They're all wearing the
Half
masks.
the worsened
Honestly,
still.
I approve.
Oh, I can do
Julia
other
approves.
things.
I think it's even more worse.
Fuck you.
Meanwhile, worsened on the side. Meanwhile, worsened on in Misfell suddenly wakes up and says, "Why am I a unit of measurement?
Because
Anyway.
shut up. That's why.
Aren't you supposed to be dead?"
Yup.
Why do I hear boss music?
Well, I think Musoka would look to Peyton and just say, well, let's find the others. Come on. And we're gonna try our best to, make our way back to where they were sitting.
I think it would be better for us to come to you. But I have no way of communicating that, so.
Well, exactly. I imagine we meet in the middle at least.
Oh crap, I didn't put their sending.
Yeah, Peyton and Musoka, you begin winding your way through where you can see these several crowds of people kind of filling up these causeways, seeming all leaving at once. It looks a bit congested. Meanwhile, those of you who were at the Drakkar Green, I'll say everyone who wishes to can roll a perception check.
Oh, really?
Is it worth taking out the spyglass?
Honestly?
I mean,
Hell yeah.
if I do use the spyglass, will that help me with anything?
I mean, I guess it would, yeah, it could.
Sure, Fukuro takes out the spyglass.
I'll let you roll with advantage, sure.
Nice.
Fukuro, it's not actually a great roll, but it's still over a 20. As you take out the spyglass and just sort of try to scan first the towers, you put together that this is something deliberate that's been done, that the worry clearly is not over the towers because it looks very controlled, whatever this thing is at the top. Then bringing it down, you sort of scan over the crowd, and you see on the opposite side of the green, it looks like most of these, what you have assumed are the Fortune's Horde, are evacuating out of that entrance. And you see one of them kind of lingering, walking a little bit more slowly, holding up something and speaking into it. And you see a little bit of a glow that's become very familiar to you. You think he's talking into some kind of a static engine-powered handheld device.
I think Fukuro very, very quickly calls Bijuchu's attention to this.
Well, shit! There's only a couple places they could have gotten something like that. That is super sus. What do we do?
I'm going... Shiruku, do you believe you would be able to disguise yourself as to not call attention?
But that is my expertise, yes.
Basically, I think I'm going to need to force you into doing stealth rolls with me.
Well... Okay, a quick question before that. So the observers are running away, or running to something, right?
The observers have currently kind of all gathered. A couple of them are making sure that people really do clear out of the Dracker Green. But as you watch to figure out what they're doing, you spot one of them just kind of running towards the crowd, and you're not sure what she's doing. And then you see her make this grand leap, a leap that looks like 30 feet, and boom, over the street onto the next building, and then just start to run across the building. And then you see that silhouette, boo, leap again. She's not taking the causeways. She is bypassing the crowds entirely.
By jumping from rooftop to rooftop, was she fucking Superman?
Pretty much.
Ooh. Well, it's
Able to leap 4 buildings in a single bound.
Yeah.
So the observers are still around. We can't go. We can't go up to the area where the hangings were taking place without being obviously spotted.
That's right.
Right. Okay, one more quick question because I'm trying to formulate ideas. What was happening to all the corpses that was being of the people who were being killed?
You would see that every time a pair of them would take this big scoop and sort of take them back behind somewhere in the tents.
That's not ominous at all.
Right. So do we try to investigate the tents? Do we follow the Fortune's Horde guys? Or do we split up and do both?
I mean, I kind of want to do this third option.
Alright. Fukuro, I guess, can follow... does anybody else here have decent stealth, or just him?
I'm a paladin.
You're
Why
a
do
paladin
you-
and a warforged. You don't have stealth.
And a motorcycle.
And a motorcycle.
I think the motorcycle isn't on as well.
Yeah, Bijutsu has...
I have gaseous
She
form.
has 20 dex, but she doesn't have proficiency in stealth.
I have gaseous form. I can sneak away around that way.
Yeah, but you're somewhere else.
I'd also need you to be able to keep up with me. Fukuro will try to follow the Fortune's Horde guys, but I think at first he's just going to make it look like he's just leaving, along with the rest of the group.
Right.
You know, not like running, not like purposely looking at them, just kind of leaving.
Yeah, easily enough you're able to make your way kind of around the perimeter of the green and fade into this push of the crowd that's exiting the same exit as the Fortune's Horde people are.
Oh, and Fukuro obviously tells somebody what he's doing before he does that.
And, okay, this is a bit of a detour, but Rond, I want to do something secret.
Okay.
So... Okay.
I will await your message.
This is either very good or very bad.
He's doing a worsened thing and doesn't want us to know.
Yeah.
Good.
Meanwhile, at this point, Musoka and Peyton, you've managed to sort of half push your way through the crowd and not quite rejoin with them, but at least you're in sight of where you can see Bijutsu and Jin Cycle.
Fujitsu! Jed! She waves over.
Yeah, I can see shit went down!
Beep.
What happened? What are these things?
That's what we're trying to figure out!
Fukuro would probably have also mentioned to Bijutsu that the towers aren't the issue. It seems like
Towers
that's
aren't
something
the
that happens.
problem, they're apparently some kind of an alert system.
Oh,
So it's what they're alerting the things of that's more the problem.
holy shit. You don't think they're getting attacked by Chang'e, do you? This early?
I mean, I would highly doubt it, but it's not non-zero.
Damn it!
Okay.
This early!
In that case, maybe we should follow the Fortune's Horde people, like you suggested for Kuro.
Yeah. As you're pushing through, you can see a couple more of the observers make these crazy ninja leaps sort of over the causeways. One of them, not seeming to make these huge jumps of the first you saw, actually just kind of tightrope walking along the railing, or really tightrope sprinting in the same direction.
They're ninjas.
But it seems like the Fortune's Horde are going in opposite direction from the one that the observers are heading in.
Can I roll? I don't know if I can even roll, but can I try to figure out, like, what direction the observers are going? Like, is that northwest? Is that very obvious? Is that, like...
Make perception or insight.
Or insight? They're the same.
It's hard to tell. They actually seem to be heading somewhere south of the Dracker Green, but you're not sure where it could be they're heading off to.
Where could they be going? Bijutsu, where's Fukuro and Shiruku?
I think they've snuck off to watch the Fortune's Horde to see if they do any shady shit. They had some kind of a static engine thing. There's only a couple of places that they could have gotten that. They're following a lead.
Okay. Well, you see those observers hopping around, right? Maybe we should
Yeah,
follow
I
them.
see them. They're doing cool ninja shit. I wish I had gizmos that let me do that.
Alright. Well, I think I have a few spells that could help me follow them, but, I can only really cast them on myself. Do you guys have something that could make you faster?
I can teleport once. That's about it. I don't got any cloaking if that's what you're asking.
Shit.
I am capable of providing a certain shield effect for a certain duration.
Okay. Peyton?
Oh, I'm muted.
There you are.
Hi,
Okay.
muted.
Gramps, you got anything?
Oh my god.
I don't have any. I suppose I could turn into something.
Okay, I have an idea. They seem to be going southward. You two could always get on, Jin and just head southward while... Well, I want to see where they're going, so... I could cast Blur on myself and fly, so... I'm gonna try to follow them. Sound like a plan?
Wait,
Well, I don't
Blur
got anything
and
better.
Well, blur is not a wait. It is a concentration. God damn it! Sorry.
It also doesn't make you invisible if that's what you're trying to achieve with it.
Well, it would make you like. I'd assume like a little bit.
Are there? So there were the blade wings, but are there any like regular ass birds like flying around here at any point?
no.
Hmm. Shit. I say we just run south to see what's up with that.
Do we want to run south, or do we want to go with the Fortune Sword and keep our party together? Because us getting split off after this, it'd be very difficult for us to get back together again.
Well, that depends, as long as we all stay in the city.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We'll stay in
Fakuro
the
and
city
Shuriku had
and-
an entire adventure together. They can handle themselves.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Or about that.
I think it's better for us to observe exactly because it looks like they're going towards the danger.
Yeah, but if they get on the train, do us a favor, don't get on the fucking train.
All right, we won't.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll make sure nobody follows that damn train.
So, at this point, it seems like the Dracker Green has been almost completely cleared out. The four of you who are sort of just south of it, kind of maybe lingering on one of the causeways. Meanwhile, Fukuro and Shiruku, you've managed to kind of integrate yourself into the snake of the crowd, though it's still kind of shoulder to shoulder on these causeways, where you can see the Fortune Sword themselves spread out, are a little bit up ahead of you. What are you guys doing? Just continuing to sort of keep your distance and watch them?
I think. Well, how far would you say we are from them right now?
Closest one is probably 30 feet away.
Do you think we should specifically go for the one who had the phone, or whatever
Yes,
that is?
I think that
Yes.
is the idea.
Yes, that guy specifically.
We tried to follow that person.
Yeah, pressing further into the crowd, it seems like you're able to keep eyes on the one who had the phone thing, now who's also about 30 feet away. But you think to get any closer will probably be a little harder. You may have to be a little stealthier. And at this point, as you're following them, as you've gotten 1 block, 2 blocks away, the crowd is thinning a bit. People are splitting off to their own places.
Yeah. Well, I know Fukuro's probably going to keep following them, but I don't know if
All
Shiruku
right.
wants to use, because Shiruku does have invisibility,
He
right?
does. Okay, I think Shuriku is going to cast invisibility at 3rd level. Oops, that was 2 GM. Whoops. At 3rd level, and which allows me to do 2 targets.
All right, so you both are going invisible, and your forms vanish as you continue to follow. The crowd's thinning now, but there is a wind blowing. These causeways are naturally creaky. Not even going to make you roll stealth, at least not yet, as you follow them. And you see that they kind of break off in different places. You see that a couple of them break off and disappear into one building, a couple break off into another, a couple break off into another, and then you see the guy with the we'll just call it a phone, with the device breaking off into another. And you realize that this all happened in the space of less than a minute. You're still following the guy with the device, right?
I assume so.
Yeah, unless we had any reason not to, do you think?
Do we have any reason not to?
So, you follow him into one of these buildings. This is one, the sort of scene that you've seen many times before, kind of a hollowed out upper level with, you see that there's kind of a trap door thing that's been opened up and a ladder leading down. As you look down, it's It's not the sealed sort of room, sort of home that maybe you'd expect to see from one of these, but instead looks like a bottom level. You can see the gray light streaming through there. It looks like that's also sort of hollowed out, sort of a husk. And one of you looking down at another view, sort of looking out the door, you can see that they actually here at street level. You guys going down that rope?
What do we see down there?
You see that they're sort of staying close to the walls of these buildings, out onto the street, and then disappear around a corner.
Well, no time like the present, I guess. With all the ash, it would be more difficult to be invisible, but do you trust your stealth roll?
With advantage because of invisibility? Sure.
Okay, I think we won't give up now. We'll go
So,
down the ladder.
you guys scurry down the ladder and make your way out into the street towards that same corner they turned around. Both of you go ahead and roll stealth with advantage. You manage to kind of find the places where they already unsettled, already disturbed the ash, keep enough of a distance that they don't see any more being kicked up. And indeed, as you round the corner, you can see them. It looks like this leads into sort of an alleyway between buildings. You look up and you realize no causeways run over this particular passage. And then you see the other ones who broke off individually convening here, and then they all disappear into this middle door.
Do we go in?
I think we should approach the door at the very least. If there's just no one... If no one is remaining outside, I think we'll approach the door at least.
Yes.
So, you approach the door carefully. You can faintly hear voices, conversation on the other side of it. Well, you'll need to put your ear right up to it if you want to truly hear what's going on. It looks like there are actually a couple of these very thick leaded glass windows that you can see gaskets around them.
I suppose we're invisible, so put our ears up to the door.
Yeah. I assume they closed the door, by the way.
Yeah, they closed the door.
Right.
All right, who's putting their ear up to the door?
I guess since Fukuro has a higher perception, he will.
All right, roll perception, Fukuro. Yeah, wouldn't be with advantage, but the first one is the better one anyways. You listen, it's muffled. Hard to make out every word. But at one point you hear, they're going to be all tied up at the stacks. Want you to wait at the signal. Then we blow the pylon.
I'm really tempted to add to that to make it a 21.
I mean, you can if you want to.
I feel like I'd get more info on their plan if I did. You think
But that's
leave it
kind
up
of
to
it's
you.
something we need to know.
Yeah, I guess it is something we need to know. Yes, I'll spend 2 foresight to make that a 21.
Okay, for a 21, you listen. You don't catch the first few words because they're muffled. Then finally you do. And it seems to be sort of two voices. You put together one of those voices, it seems to repeat these things at a clipped pace. You put together this must be the person with the device. It does indeed seem to be some kind of a communicator. They're saying, look, the ship just came in. They've got cannons at the ready. Full-on assault. They'll never see it coming. What we need to do is make sure that they're all tied up. We can't have this coming back to bite us. No, they'll be all tied up there. By the time this is done,
We should have already finished our evacuation. Look, we just lay low here till nightfall, and we all make for the Powder Cove. Got something lined up there.
All right. So, you think they'll take the stacks?
Honestly, that's not our problem. The main thing, build a distraction. They're already going to draw all the observers there. Once the shoreliners have all taken off there, we blow the pylons. Make sure they don't have a path back to the northwest.
All right.
I guess if that's the end of that conversation and nothing else happens, I guess we should probably backtrack to a safer distance. Although, is there anything else suspicious or worth looking at just around here outside?
You guys are gonna stick around to investigate the outside of the building?
Not quite really investigate, just if Fukuro looks around, is there anything that looks interesting?
Nothing obvious. If anything, it looks like this place was chosen for how inconspicuous it is, and because there are no causeways around the top for observers. I mean, for people who might see.
Do you think we should just head back up then?
Well, I think that information was very useful.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. Yeah, I think that's probably enough. Unless you have other ideas.
I do not have other ideas.
Right. Well, because we know there's a distraction in progress, and something they appear. Well, it seems like. I mean, actually, we should discuss this in character later, to be honest. So, yeah, I think we should leave for now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you leave, heading back towards the Dragger Green, the last place you saw the rest. Meanwhile, the other four of you, as you've kind of moved along with the crowd, trying not to draw attention to yourselves, you've seen that more and more, until it seems like probably most of the observers who were securing the perimeter at the Dragger Green have made their own kind of monk moves over these buildings and across the causeways. So it seems to the same point to the south.
And no matter what, there's no like end to them, right? Like it's just a lot of observers, or
It seems like it's all the ones who were there at the Dragger Green. It's not like a full-on army of them.
right? Are there any? Can I wait until there's like Yeah. So basically, when all the observers kind of pass us, Rusoka wants to. Well, she'll talk to everyone else first and just say, I can fly up there and try to find out where exactly they're going. I'll probably be able to see it from the sky. What do you think?
It might give us an edge. Just be careful.
All right. She's going to go against like a building and try her best to not obviously be seen by random people, so that like she'll be in an alleyway and then she'll try to she'll cast fly. She'll fly her way up and try to like get a decent get on top of a building and try to see where exactly they're going.
Oh, you're going to try to fly. Okay. I'm going to need you to roll a stealth check for me.
Okay. Stealth. Okay.
I just need to double check something. You kind of find a place, the edge of one of these causeways, less trafficked. You feel confident that none of the people wending their way through is going to see you. Cast fly on yourself. Float up to the top of the building, actually close to one of those towers, and you can see now that where these observers seem to be converging, a number of blocks away, but it looks like it is not too far from that library. It looks like it is the terminus of that rail station.
Right.
And that is when you see one of these observers running along, dashing from rooftop to rooftop, sort of looks at you and stops.
Kespler myself. Well, I'm gonna fly down immediately, then Kespler.
You fly down, cast Blur, and then you hear, not 20 feet away from you, boom, boom, 2 feet land on the metal of this causeway. And you hear a voice say, "Now don't run from me, dear. You make yourself look so guilty when you run from me." And with that, let's go ahead and as Shiruku and Fukuro catch up with the 3 other party members, Musaka, you are facing this observer. We'll go ahead and end the session there.